A trend on TikTok right now that Dion, there's this like long speech by Dion where it's like, you can't tell you who I am. I know what I am. I'm better than you. And people have been doing that as like daily affirmations for themselves, and it's amazing, like with sage and stuff. I'll send it to you guys.
Burning this
Nick Bosa.
Yeah, that's weird. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That's terrific.
He's a hype man for himself.
I wake up, my eyes go, Travis Rogers.
And I make you feel great.
So, my wife is out of town.
Yeah.
She's spending the week with her mom and stuff and her brother and sister.
So you're getting it in, huh? Going out every night?
Tearing it up. You wait till you hear what I've been up to. My oldest, he was with his friends the last couple of nights, so he was not home. My youngest is busy, right? He's a senior in high school, so he's not coming home till 9:30 at night.
Miss you, Dad.
At best.
His schedule is packed.
It is. Hey, when are you coming home? I don't know. Hey, well, dude, take it easy. Just want to make sure that you didn't be exactly. Just want to make sure you didn't get arrested or so. Oh, when it's over. Well, did you
smoking.
Any idea? Right. So anyway,
I didn't drink. I literally did not ask you anything to do with that.
They're pretty bad liars. So I'm watching the Dodge game last night.
Yeah.
Alone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's. I'm texting and stuff, but I'm not with other human beings. And the ball is hit to center field.
Yep.
And James Outman makes that incredible running catch. Just on the dead run, lays out, backhanded, just an unbelievable catch. And I yell at the top of my lungs. I can't yell what I yelled in here. I went, oh, snap, right? And I literally yelled it at the top of my lungs.
Yeah.
I looked around like, oh, yeah, there's nobody here. Which means that there are catches and moments that get you very excited, like legitimately. And I also realized, like, I need validation that I saw what I saw.
Okay, I got a couple questions.
I need someone to also say, yes, I agree, that was an amazing catch.
Not necessarily.
We also have the sound of this Outman catch, so we want to play it for you just so in case anybody didn't see, this is what it sounded like on Spectrum.
Line drive left center field. Outman on the move and a diving grab. Superman play. James Outman.
Great play.
It was full extension.
By the way, bases loaded. Bobby Miller on the mound.
Yes.
Saves a couple of runs.
At
One run
least.
comes in, but at least saves. You could have cleared the bases.
I was yelling, and then I looked around. I'm like, no, I'm by myself. I need somebody to react to what I just said and saw.
Jorge, I don't know if you feel the same way this, but I just got a couple follow-up questions.
Okay.
Had you changed yet from work? Did you come home? Is the
Shoes
attire
on.
the exact same?
I'm so happy you asked that.
Okay.
So Michael comes home around 9:25 last night.
Okay.
You're still in your work stuff?
Okay, that's just,
yeah.
that was one of the questions. Here's the other question.
And yes, I had my shoes on.
Okay, shoes are still on. How much? This is going to tell a lot. Is there light in the room? Is it dark in the room? Did you go to the effort of saying, well, I'm going to at least get some lights on in the place?
The kitchen light was on, so there was a little bit of light kind of trickling into the room.
Now, is it the kitchen light or is it the fan light from the kitchen?
No, it's the kitchen light. Okay. It's the light.
That's a difference. That's a big difference.
Big difference. Or it's just the microwave was left open.
It's from the west wing of the house, on the right wing of the house.
No, well, Jorge's been there. Jorge
the kitchen's behind the living room.
Because I've never been, so I would know.
The kitchen and the living room are together, right?
Yeah.
And there's no wall or anything. So the kitchen light's on. There is light in the room, but it's not like well lit. And I had for dinner last night, I had 2 brownies and a glass of milk, and then later I had a PB&J.
That's called boy dinner.
You need your family to come home.
I'm a disaster. I'm pathetic. I'm yelling at the TV. I have nobody to talk to. I can't get undressed without somebody pointing out that it hasn't happened. I literally ate like a 6-year-old last night, left by themselves.
You're leaning back on your couch like this, and then the play happens, and you're like, oh, snap.
I went, oh,
Yeah.
right?
Also, what order was the brownie and the other food in the PB&J? So a brownie first or PB&J first?
2 brownies first.
Okay.
Good size?
Like that.
Okay. Glass of milk, perfect.
And
but you went kind of sweet because you went
Yes.
peanut butter and jelly
warming
after.
brown.
No jelly, just peanut butter.
Just peanut butter.
Because the jelly was in the
first.
back of the fridge. And
Too much work.
Would have had to take some stuff out.
A little
and
honey.
just
It's
like,
easy. The honey just flowed off.
Did you warm up the brownies?
No.
Just straight up out of the
There's
box?
a
I
tub
believe
of
him on
brownies.
that
I had
one,
to just get them in as quickly as I could. It was. I'm not doing well. She comes back today. It's very good news. And I needed to kind of put it out there. I need people far more than I
Did
thought.
you sleep with your shoes on?
So
Did you shower this morning?
I swear to you guys, I had no idea how weird that is. Like, everybody's horrified that I leave my shoes on when I come home from work. And I leave them on, maybe not until I go to bed, but until late in the evening.
I do too, man.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
I keep my shoes on because you never
Shoes
know
are
when
coming off.
No.
I change into house shoes. So I have these shoes that I wear around during the day. I have these ones that I'm wearing right now, and I usually take them off when I come into the door. But then I have slippers that I wear just in my house.
She has Pumas.
Well,
only Puma at home.
It's because they're supportive, but I don't want to get like my bare feet dirty from the floors. That
Okay.
I don't clean the floors every day.
I get that.
Yeah.
No, look, it's life. The floor gets dirty, right?
Yeah.
I understand.
All right, shoes are off, but socks are still on. At least for me.
You keep your socks on,
Socks
even in the
are on.
summer when it's hot.
No, I'll put my sandals on.
Your UGG boots. What are the fur lined boots? Yeah,
But sandals will go on too.
I needed validation that catch was as good as it was, because usually
Okay.
if I yell something like that, Susan's in the room and she'll go, "Oh yeah, that was pretty awesome." Or one
listen.
of the kids is home. It was like screaming into a vacuum.
Well, catch is amazing. Your reaction was the right reaction. I just needed more of like a picture of what it looked like at home. Because you say the neighbors are right next to you. Are the neighbors?
I would bet you
Yeah.
every penny I have
Sure.
that they heard me scream it.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how loudly I yelled it, and that's how close they are. If they were home, there's no possible way they didn't hear a 50-year-old man scream "oh blank" at the top of his lungs watching baseball by himself.
We're Sagittarius for sure, me and you, because I did the same thing during the World Cup.
Yeah.
It was early in the morning, and then during the Super Bowl when Dre and Eminem and all they all performed.
Yeah.
I was blasting the TV. Everybody had gone out to get more beer or whatever, and I'm
Right.
by myself. My neighbor comes downstairs. I have a headache. Can you turn it down?
Oh,
like,
wow.
sorry. Like, I'm screaming. I'm like,
Yeah, it's exciting.
It is.
And it's exciting. And even when you're by yourself, there are those moments that make you go, "Oh my blank." It was terrific. It was a great catch. And we'll talk about the soap bubble in a minute. Emily, you have breaking news?
Yeah, so I have breaking news here, and again, it's something that we've talked about the past couple of days. But Bengals head coach Zach Taylor said that Joe Burrow will not fully practice today, if he even practices due to his lingering calf injury, and it will continue to be a day-to-day situation as to whether the QB can play Monday night versus the Rams. And this is from Adam Schefter.
Okay, so I did my Locked on Rams podcast yesterday, and every Wednesday we record for Thursday. We do a crossover where we go on with the Bengals come on with us. They're convinced, the people in Cincinnati are convinced he's not going to play. Now, I don't know if they know, but that combined with that leads me to believe that he's unlikely to play, right? Because he got hurt in the exact same way in the game that he got hurt during the preseason. Just kind of a normal little rollout, and he
Kind
came
of like
up.
Cup a little bit.
Yeah, it's very similar to Cup. You're exactly right.
And those take forever to heal.
Forever.
Do you think there's any chance, you know how coaches and organizations won't give the media any info, that the Locked On Bengals guys were doing that to you?
It could be. There could be
Everyone's
some misinformation
connected there.
right? There could be some disinformation, so we got that it starts to work its way back to Sean McVay, and he starts to take his foot off the gas. Maybe. Look, without Joe Burrow, the Rams go from with Joe Burrow. It's a game they can win and should win based on how the two teams have looked so far.
They aren't favored, though. The odds are not
2.5, right?
Yeah, 2.5 in favor of the Bengals, but every home team gets 3 usually.
I was just going to say, basically, that's a home cooking.
We're all over the map right now. Vegas has kind of adjusted that. It's gone from the traditional 3 down to 1.5. That it's, for whatever reason, it means less than it has typically over the last couple of years because they've been getting smoked on road dogs.
Okay.
Right? So anyway, but without Joe Burrow, it goes to a game that you need to win that game. Their backup is Jake Browning, who's not of NFL caliber. He's a former Washington quarterback. He's a West Coast guy.
Right.
But he's not.
But a rookie, too, right?
I want to say maybe 2 years, but was on a practice squad last year, was not in the league, has not really played any meaningful snaps. It goes from, hey, you got an opportunity to, you better win. If Burrow doesn't play, you better win that game.
Before the season started, I don't think any of us were saying, you're looking at the schedule, you say, okay, at Cincinnati, that's a tough one.
For sure.
Okay, let's just say hypothetically Joe Burrow's playing in that game. Still a very interesting game. Hey, Rams, you started out really, really good. You got that road win in Seattle. You had a great test against San Francisco, and you hung with them. This is a winnable game. the best description that you could possibly have. If Joe Burrow is not the quarterback on Monday, you better be walking away from Cincinnati 2-1.
100%.
I mean, what a missed opportunity if that's not the case.
100%.
Yeah.
Look, we saw what a team looks like when all of a sudden your quarterback is not available. Last year, the Rams went from they got a fighting chance, even though Stafford had a bad year and he was hurt and he was the offensive line was bad. But with Matthew Stafford out there, you felt like you had a chance, right? You felt like if we at least give him a half a second to find something, he's going to do it. We saw what it looked like with Bryce Perkins. You saw what it looked like with John Wolford. There was literally no path to victory with those guys more often than not. Then Mayfield comes in and you're more back to kind of a 50-50. I think he went 2-3 in the 5 games he played. Okay, but with those other guys, they couldn't win a game.
This dude makes his first start on Monday Night Football against the Rams. I
Yeah.
mean, that would be,
and
that's a lot that's also weighing on somebody that clearly doesn't have the experience
and it's
as well.
much more of a John Wolford situation for the Bengals than it is a Baker Mayfield. Like Baker Mayfield comes in, it's like, okay, I don't love it, but we got a chance.
He's been a starter in the league.
He was the first pick in the draft.
Yes.
For better or for worse, there's at least some basic skills there that could translate on an afternoon.
But here's a wild card that we forgot about. The Bengals will be wearing their all white
those
uniforms.
are pretty sweet.
Have they
So
not
maybe-
lost?
The
Is it-
helmets
what's
too?
the-
I actually don't know the record, and they're all whites, but I mean,
They're-
it can't be bad. They
they're
look
awesome.
amazing.
They're fire. They
Yeah,
really
exactly.
are. The white tie.
Say that again?
Are they doing their fire? Did you like that?
It's great.
He can say it. Let me tell you why he can say it. Jorge's
They're
been
swaggy.
saying it a lot, and he's picking
SZA.
up from Jorge on there.
Fire. SZA is fire. Sizzling like SZA, and it's
SZA
fire.
is very fire. See, look,
Works.
what else you guys want to know?
On God.
On God, for real, no cap.
You know, what'd be awesome is
Actually.
if yesterday when you were at home by yourself, you were working on all that, like you were just practicing all that.
All your phrases.
Right when Outman catches it, that was
It's
fire.
a pretty
On
good
God.
catch, Al.
Yeah, I
Great
can picture
catch.
you like Russell Wilson in the mirror practicing this thing.
On God, SZA.
It's just isn't like a
Bruh.
term for a bunch of things. It's
Bruh.
a
It is for me.
singular
That's-
person.
See, you're not up on the lingo, Emily. You haven't.
Emily, honestly, get caught up. This is embarrassing.
You haven't elevated to. See, here's the thing. You're getting up in age, and me as access to the youngsters, I'm up to the most current lingo.
You're right.
Like
You're right.
SZA. I got it all. I've got it. Uh-oh, somebody from Kennendale, Texas is calling me. I don't know what
Answer.
that is
Put it on
or
speaker.
what that is.
Put it on
We'll
speaker.
figure it out. All right, the bubble in center field and Bobby Miller. Weird stuff at Dodger Stadium last night. It's coming up next. Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. Are you dealing with a dead battery? Head to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. They offer free battery services like their free battery testing and free battery charging. Their free battery testing can help you know if you need a new battery or not, or if you just need a fresh charge. And if you happen to need a new one, they can help you with that as well. They're the only place you can find proven tough Duralast batteries. So the next time you're having battery trouble, head to AutoZone, your battery solution and America's #1 battery destination.
Two teams that know each other.
Hey guys, it's producer Lindsay Baseball, and guess what? Thursday Night Football has a brand new home, and it's the 909 Sports Bar at Yamava Resort and Casino. Join me and the 710 Fun Games Department every Thursday night for a party. I will be giving away $1,000 cash every Thursday night. So this Thursday from 4 to 7 at the 909 Sports Bar, win cash and watch football with me, producer Lindsay Baseball. Or maybe they should call me Lindsay Football. See you there.
Sliwa on 710 ESPN.
Okay, just one real quick thing here. You had the brownies.
2.
You had the peanut butter sandwich,
Yes.
no jelly because that's extra work. You got to use another. You got to use another knife, however you want to do it. Even though you just got to do it on both sides,
Yeah.
put them together.
Open
Put that to the
face,
side for a
too,
quick
by the way.
second.
Just 1 slice of bread.
One slice of bread. Okay. All right, I respect that. It's a lot of bread.
I'd like to keep it healthy after my 2 brownies.
Did you do milk again?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, because I was going to say, but that's where you throw me off because I know you're a savory guy before sweet. I'm a savory guy before sweet.
I am.
You just went all savory.
It was
Or all sweet?
So we had company in on Monday.
Yeah.
Susan's aunt and uncle came in and they stayed with us, and so we made a little dinner, and then Susan made brownies for a little dessert, which she never makes when it's just the 2 of us and the kids. I will always complain about there never being anything, but I also won't go fix it myself. Like, I won't go to the store and buy sweets. If they're in the house, I'm going to eat them. And I'm the only one home, and there's an entire tin full of brownies. I'm going to eat them. That's going to happen.
I'll spread them through the show. I got just a lot of questions
I drank
of your.
more milk last night than I probably have in the last month combined. Because I don't drink much of it unless it's very specific.
Did you pour the
things.
milk in a glass?
Plastic cup. And I threw the cup away when I was done.
Like a red Solo cup?
It was a cup that I had from something else that I rinsed out, and then I knew I was going to throw it out, and so I just doubled up. I don't want to do any dishes.
He was literally in Santa Barbara. He was at UCSB last night.
Susan said, "Hey, can you try to keep the house clean?" And I'm like, "Well, of course." And my solution to that is not to clean it, but it's to just not mess
use
it up.
anything.
Just don't use anything.
Yeah.
That's how I fixed it.
Okay.
All right, so we're playing this music
Got what I
because I am going to do speed dating tonight.
Awesome.
So I've never done speed dating before. And I follow this like Instagram thing that like they kind of suggest a bunch of things you could do in LA. And I saw speed dating like a month ago and I was like, this sounds like a really cool idea. Maybe I'll just try it. I'm single. I'm like going to try to get out there. And so I'm a little nervous. I don't really know what it's supposed to be like.
Can I ask you something real quick?
Yeah.
Like, do you know the logistics, like how many people are going to be there, how long you're going to be with each person?
I don't know how long I'm going to be with each person. I don't know how many people are going to be there. I know this is like pretty well attended. They sell out typically, so you have to buy a ticket.
You have to buy a ticket? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
to buy a ticket. It's $30 or whatever, but includes
General
wine.
admission,
I was going
box
to say, you get
seats?
drink tickets? I mean, how does this work?
Yeah, it's wine. It's like an open bar essentially for wine, but you sit at your table and they come around and serve you.
Do
but
the
it's
men
just talking.
rotate or do the women?
I am not sure about that.
Okay.
But again, I'll find all this out tonight when
Okay.
I go there. But I've been thinking about what questions I want to ask, like what I'm going to wear.
Can we?
Yeah.
All right. A couple things on this. God, you guys have had good topics so far. How long? 5 minutes the least. 10 the most.
I think 10 is a lot. Like, if the whole point is quick.
So 5 minutes?
I would think 5's
I
about
think
right.
it's probably 5 to 7.
Yeah.
It's
So
probably where
you're
I'm
going
gonna
to sit in front of somebody and you got 5 minutes to try to find out whatever it is that you're looking for as far as, okay, do I have any interest in this person or do I not? What happens after the session is over?
So I'm assuming since we had to give our phone numbers and our Instagram handles, so it's likely that afterwards you're going to get like an email with
You can
everybody
select.
that participated and their Instagram and their phone number. So then you can, I'm going to match, Ben to this one, whatever, whoever the person is. So
Ben.
that's
Ben sounds
probably
like a
what
good
happens.
Do you have any?
Ben a shot.
Do you have any idea what questions you want to ask?
Okay, so it's interesting too because I saw an LA Times article about speed dating today, and I was like, oh, that's kind of coincidental. But one of the questions that I thought was kind of interesting was, what job do you think that I do? So to have them read me essentially
with
first
no
and
clues.
With no clues. Just, hey, what job do you think I do? Just based on how I look. And then also I'm trying to avoid any of those like kind of bio questions, just like, how long have you been in LA? How old are you? That stuff could be. You don't date based off information.
Right.
You date based off connection.
Sure.
And so I'm going to try to kind of get to that connection relatively quickly.
Okay, so I got a couple of things here. Number one, when you get set up, you meet somebody, and you go out on a date for the first time, how and it's been a million years since I've been on a first date with anybody. Do you know within typically, like you meet somebody or through a match or something like that, and you go grab a cup of coffee with them. Do you know within 10 minutes whether, like, I'm into this or not?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to get that thing going, 10, 15 times tonight. So that's my number one question.
She's like, I got connections with all of them.
Is it physical or is it more of that connection thing?
It has to depend. I think personally for me, I find people more attractive that I can talk to, that I have more of like an intellectual connection with.
Okay.
So that's for me more important.
I've got one for you because I think you're going to like this because I think I like it and we share this a little bit together.
Okay.
And you have to say it with a smile on your face because if you deliver it with like solemnly, it could be looked at as hostile. So you have to kind of deliver it like this.
What do you think of the Cam Akers move to Minnesota?
Not that.
Locked on Rams.
Tell me some things that you hate.
Okay.
Right? Because it's a weird question, right? Don't tell me the things that you love, right? That's I think kind of normal.
And plus, you'll find that out.
Right, but
you're passionate about things you hate.
Yeah, give me, because I know when you don't like something, you don't like something. Like I get a great deal of pleasure out of disliking something. It's just as much fun for me as to like.
There's a lot of passion.
I love rooting against the Angels. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love to root for the Dodgers. They're pretty close, right? So. Tell me the things that you hate. You can't go, tell me the things that you hate. You can't say it like that. But you go, hey, tell me the things that you really hate that drive you crazy.
Okay.
That would be interesting,
That's a
I
good
think.
suggestion. Al, do you have a good
well,
question?
actually, I want if we get a question from a listener, if a listener gives you suggestions, would you actually use it? Like if
it was appropriate?
All right.
It was
what
good.
if it's more joking around, very loose, like why would you ask that question? And the only reason why I'm throwing it out there is I'd love a listener to give us questions that you can use on tonight's speed dating.
Yeah.
And maybe as the show goes on, we kind of decipher that one's got a shot, that one's got no shot.
Maybe we all ask each other too.
But you could even use it at any point, however it works. Come back, tell us that if you used it. But I think our listeners are going to have some creativity, and they're also going to have some. Look at the ass sleeves.
You're going to get good and bad, and you're going to get weird, which I think are all good.
Like the smell of the sweat on your wrist from a watch. That was a good question.
There's some things I don't want to know about someone else.
Are you repulsed or oddly intrigued by the smell under your watch? That would be one of those. You know what? Let me get back to you on that. Next, ding, ring the bell, rotate.
Yeah. So I got an interesting one here, Emily.
All right.
So you're all about your friends and hanging out with your friends and what your friends think about you. So how about you ask that person, what does your best friend think of you, and see what they tell you?
That's a good question. I actually have asked it on dates before. I usually ask, oh, tell me about your best friend, and also, like, what would you think your best friend would? Because then that's a red flag if you don't have a best friend.
I live alone.
I ate 2 brownies last night with toast with so much milk.
In a cup that I've used before.
How awesome would that be? She runs into somebody and she says, what'd you do last night? I watched the Dodger game, and that's the layout.
Brownies and milk for dinner. What are you, 6?
Again, boy dinner.
A microwave chicken nuggets.
But, yeah.
Okay. This could be a really good icebreaker, right? If you said, okay, this is the first time I've done it. I work on this radio show, and we crowdsourced a question that we agreed that I would ask. That would be, well, what do you do? What is it about? How did you? That's a really good icebreaker.
Yeah, that is an icebreaker.
Okay, so if
very unique.
If people have them, send them to me, send them to Travis, send them to Alan, or you can call in. But again, they can be really weird. But make them
not inappropriate,
and
weird
that you actually want me to ask, because I will report back tomorrow and tell you about the story of how they interact.
Yeah, it's not. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yeah.
Where are you from? It needs to be
Because
like,
that's second date question if I want to know about that.
Do you jog in place if the light is red? I've got plenty of those from the Esleys.
Have you ever asked? When was the last time you asked to speak to the manager? That you know what
Oh,
I mean?
that's a good one.
That could be one of those.
Ooh.
I've never done that before. Or I
Someone
did it
would
this
lie about that.
I did it this morning. I was at CVS and I did not receive satisfaction, and I demanded to see the manager.
One thing too is like the article for LA Times also
I
was
should
like
speed date.
you could ask. So some people want to get down to business and ask big questions like, do you want to have kids? Do you want to get married someday? That pushes me a little bit away from a first date question. Like that's down the line because I don't want to. You know, I'm dating, but I'm also casually dating. I don't need to find my husband tonight or whatever. But, you know, who knows what happens. So, again, send me interesting questions that you guys think I might ask.
What if somebody hit you with one of those MNOs? Like, hey, look, are you interested in getting married? What's your response?
Yes.
Okay.
At some point in my life.
Yeah.
You want to have kids?
Do you like?
Yes, at some point in my
my thing
life.
would be like, you mean like tonight? Like, do you make it a joke?
I think that
What do you
everyone-
think of this name for the firstborn?
I think that everyone goes into this, especially if you're electing to do speed dating, you go in with an open mind. So again, whatever question you may get asked, to answer it honestly, because everyone's trying to get to whatever they believe a good partner.
You know
is.
who's going to have questions? When John and Steve come in. John, for some reason, I feel
100%.
like he's going to have 10 questions
My suggestion to you, Em, do not take any of Ireland's questions.
Hey,
I'm just saying that
he did say I would be a good person to be married to.
No, I understand, and I'm not saying that he's a bad guy. Just that there's that thing like I don't know quite what that means, right? There's just,
I'll take it with a grain of salt.
Yes, there you go. I like the what do you hate, and what was the other one I had?
What does your best friend say about you? I don't remember.
Yeah.
What was your second
Yeah.
one?
What does your best friend think about you?
I like that,
Yeah.
Bro,
I like
you should
that.
MC it.
I would love to.
You should. I mean, and
Please do not come.
you crack a joke or two to start things off, and there's a guys 2 minutes left.
Well, what you said was kind of your Hollywood Bowl situation. You weren't on the date, but you were observing somebody on the date, right? That's where Greg's disgusting heavy petting
Yeah, the
comment
petting.
came from.
The petting.
Yes,
Right.
that is what the happy petting comes from.
Which, by the way, he hit me with that again this morning. I'm like, stop saying that. It's
Was there heavy petting?
Listen how he hits the H way too hard.
Was there heavy petting?
heavy petting.
Was there heavy petting?
Little breathy.
And he was completely comfortable with doing it again the next day, of saying, yeah, well, there's no issues
And
with
speaking
that.
on this same thing, someone tweeted out that you need a Tinder for sports companionship. I think it was Christopher Holmes that said it. That you need someone that
Clearly.
you can just go watch a game with, and I think that might be helpful for you.
I need speed men friends or whatever it is. I don't. That's probably
That's not going to get you where you want.
Exactly.
yeah. That probably does exist, and it's probably something that's
There
not
is
for me.
Bumble friends.
Yeah,
that you can
well,
do.
maybe that. Maybe we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Bobby Miller was something last night. I can't quite. I'm very confused as to where I am with Bobby Miller moving forward. That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
And Sliwa.
On 710 ESPN.
I think I got another question that you can ask just right out the gate. Were you an Eddie Jones guy or Van Exel? Which one? And don't smile. Look him directly in the eyes. Ask him that question.
Say it with great seriousness.
Eddie Jones or Nick Van Exel?
I like that a lot. There's one, I forget who, somebody had it in here. Let's see here. When was the last time you thought about the Roman Empire? That's a suggestion. That's so weird that it would stop you in your tracks and either make you
was gone,
laugh.
right?
Yeah, he was gone.
There's a story behind this.
So let me tell you. So you were gone last week. So this is something that's been going around TikTok.
Gone one day.
You were gone. How long were you gone for? A couple weeks?
You were
gone for a week.
So you were gone. You were gone
all last week.
All of August. You were gone.
I don't want to get too far off the track here, but you guys know that I do not like to miss work, and my great fear is that I miss a day and it gets characterized. Well, you were gone last week. I was not.
My statement was you were gone last week. You were gone one day last week.
Yes, but I would prefer you were gone a day last week.
Last Friday.
Thank you, Em.
Whilst you were gone, we had a Factor Cat topic. And because this has been going around on TikTok where girls will ask their boyfriends, their partners, their guys in their life, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? And then girls are realizing that guys think about the Roman Empire a lot more than we thought.
Like that was like a real thing. It's happening on social.
Right.
So that question you're reading there is 100% somebody based off of that.
So, and also it's almost too pervasive. So it would actually be a bad question because people are like, like everybody is going to ask that question because it's topical and funny.
Okay.
It's something that might be overplayed. And also I was in a sorority in college. And so we essentially did.
Which one?
Gamma Phi Beta.
Okay.
Shout out, moons, crescents, whatever. G Phi B. But when you're doing Rush, it's essentially speed dating, but for friendship. So you have to do the same thing. So I have questions in my mind that I asked these girls, that I asked for like conversation starters that I remember, but it's a little different when dating somebody.
Here's one from Chrissy in the Trav and Slee All-Star community. What is your perfect boy dinner? Like that could be something you can
That
ask
would be
them.
one.
Yeah. Cut spaghetti.
Cut spaghetti, just ragu.
Is there a bad answer?
Texas toast. I think that a bad answer would be
Two
cut
brownies?
up steak with no seasoning and chocolate milk, because I saw somebody post this the other day.
God.
And that would be a bad boy dinner.
Wait.
Steak,
I'm trying
no
to process
seasoning,
this.
and chocolate
Just
milk.
chopped up.
Unseasoned chopped steak.
Yes.
And a glass of chocolate milk.
No, a gallon of chocolate milk.
Oh.
So that's a bad boy
worse.
dinner.
Ugh. Yeah, it's not good.
It doesn't. Well, I mean, this doesn't sound good, but chocolate milk.
Bars on the floor.
She's leaving that date with there's no going back. She's not hitting him up on Instagram.
Somebody asked, where is it here? What's the longest relationship you had, and what's the reason you're here tonight? That's from David in the Trav and Slee All-Star community. That seems oddly personal for very quickly. No? Am I wrong?
What's the reason you're here? I think that's an interesting
I think if you want
one.
to get to the point of like, why are you looking for love, essentially, and like that.
No, why are you here? I'm okay with. It's what's the long? Because what if I say 2 weeks? It's like what if I say 9 years? Like I don't know.
I personally don't think that is a determinant of whether or not someone would be a good partner is if they've had a partner before.
Yeah.
But it's something to be aware of, I guess. But I wouldn't ask it.
Yeah, so. I don't like that one. Sorry, David. I'm gonna offer my 2 cents in on these things.
Well, this is one that I think we've kind of asked in some form, and I always think it's a good question. What's your perfect night? Like, what is that? Describe what a perfect night would be, because I think you're going to find out a lot about that person in a short amount of time, kind of based on how they respond to that.
These are all good suggestions, and I see a bunch on Twitter, and we'll sprinkle them out throughout the day, and I'll decide on which one I want to ask.
I want some calls, too. 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-3776 if you've got speed dating questions for Emily. And, Emily, are you willing to sign off on if you find one that you really like that you will use and give credit to, maybe not by name, but from what we're all doing here today?
Yes, I will announce the dump, the most likely answer that I will ask tonight, and then I will give credit tomorrow and talk about how it went.
What do you think the odds are that you run into somebody that's a listener?
Very low.
Very low?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, shows you what she thinks about our audience. whole lot about.
Very.
Let's move on.
By the way,
Dodgers.
Quick too, very quick to respond right there. What was up with we're just blowing bubbles at Dodger games now? Was that just bizarre? Like the giant
couple bizarre things.
Bubble
Yeah.
just kind of floated over center field for half a second, and as I mentioned, I was watching the game at home.
I thought it was a spy. I thought it was the spy balloon.
The way that Joe Davis said it was it for half a second. I'm like, wait, is something bad happening? Because he said, well, there's something going on in center field. I didn't know if somebody gotten onto the field. I didn't know if there was something dangerous that was happening. And
you can't see it.
You can't see
the
it.
bubble.
Sure.
And he said there's something over center field, and then you cut to it. It's this giant bubble that because to make those big bubbles, you need those big wands, right?
Correct.
That have the giant opening, and you kind of you take your kids to the park and make them.
Yep.
Never seen one of those. How do you
even
make
get
that at the
in?
ballpark?
Yeah, do you get soap from the restroom? Is that kind of stuff that you're using? Like, how do you get that thing in?
Because that's a strong bubble to float
is a
that
strong
far
bubble.
over. I was perplexed.
I hope we don't see this more often, where somebody's like, "Hey, look at the pub this just got." All you got to do is, we all used to do the beach balls or whatever,
Sure.
right? Like that,
Paper
paper airplanes, something like that. That's a new one. I've never seen that before. That's incredibly odd, and hopefully that doesn't become a recurring act where Outman's looking up there saying, "Yeah, I got another one of these."
When I was a kid, when I used to go to Dodger games, people used to take the napkins, and you would kind of fold them in this very specific way and punch a hole in the middle of the napkin, and you could kind of fold. It would make this little kind of parachute shape, and if you were on one of the top decks, you could throw it off, and it would inflate, and it would slowly. And I remember seeing them pretty frequently at Dodger. I don't know if they've gone to non-parachute friendly paper towels at Dodger Stadium, but it happened a lot. Like you would see these things float down.
You'd see random videos. I think, Jorge, this falls into our just going into YouTube and seeing random stuff. You see people on like the top level, Trav, the top deck, and they make a paper airplane, and they just release it kind of a little bit towards the field. And this was for soccer that I saw.
Oh, it goes in the box? Yes, I've seen that one.
It just kind of starts gliding, and then now you got people around all kind of watching it, but you're so far from the actual getting on the grass.
And it's being recorded on a cell phone, and they zoom in as much as they can.
And they're the ones that threw it.
Yeah.
And now the crowd is starting to get into it, and this thing is just gliding like it's a freaking drone.
Mind you, it's a soccer game.
Yep. And eventually gets all the way down to the field in like a perfect landing. Like, it's just the funniest thing ever.
Perfect landing, but inside the box. So everybody starts cheering like it was a goal.
Yeah.
I'm here for that.
It's like the DVD menu thing, when you wanted to get in the corner,
right?
In TBT to when we had DVD menus, but when you want
you want it to hit perfectly in the corner.
He's at the office.
Yeah. He thinks he's had the great meeting along the way. All right, let's see what David in Van Nuys has for Emily. David, you're on with Trav and Slee. What's up?
Hey, Trav, what's going on? I just asked a question in the community, and I think you guys took my question the wrong way. So, me asking Emily to ask somebody what's the reason you're here tonight.
Yeah,
it's not to find out their intentions, as in what they want, but it's more like, wouldn't Emily want to know if maybe there's a reason, he's having issues finding love because there's a problem, he's having issues finding outside and he's there. She might want to know, okay, this guy's having problems finding love outside because of a specific reason that might kind of raise a red flag. So that's kind of a question I was trying to ask. Not to get personal of what he's trying to do, but more like, hey, dude, there's a red flag that you're here because of a certain reason.
Right.
What do you think, Em?
I think that likely someone would lie about that. I don't feel like people would be totally truthful because I think it's a little too close to home.
All women hate me.
Right, exactly. If you're trying to go out and get some love, it's not the best way to do it. I think people would lie. I think I want a question where you're going to get a truthful answer. And I think that people would lie about that.
Okay, am I wrong here? The idea of this to me would be to get the other person to stop and actually think about what I just asked.
Remember that you asked the question.
Yes, not necessarily what the answer is. It's just to have somebody are they actually listening to what I said? Are they actually thinking about what I said? Or are they just waiting to go, well, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
Right.
To stop them in their tracks and go, wait, what did you ask me? Mm-hmm. And that's why I like the hate question. Because it would be wait, what? What do I hate?
It's not a common question, and everybody has a long laundry list of it.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
I feel like feel like we're getting close.
It's a good suggestion. There's tons of good suggestions on Twitter, too.
877-710-ESPN. Call us with your Emily speed dating questions. And one that she likes, she's going to ask it on the what do we call it? The event? The event tonight?
Yeah, at the event tonight.
And if anybody has any of these coming up and they need an MC, Travis is more than happy.
See, this is where you should be very happy, Emily, that I'm A, not particularly industrious, and B, live far away, because if I were either of those things, I would find out all the speed dating locations.
It's in Orange County.
Triangulate where you are and just kind of see what's going on. Just make sure everything is on the up and up. Hey, did you see? Foo, coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
All right, Sierra Subaru of Monrovia. I've spent a lot of time talking about the great cars there, the Subaru Ascent, the Subaru Outback, the all-electric Solterra as well. Those are great cars in September. Really focusing in on the 2023 Subaru Forester. Beautiful car, roomy, super safe, efficient. If you've never driven a Subaru, I highly, highly suggest you give them a shot. If it's time to look for another vehicle, maybe your lease is expiring, maybe you've had a car for a long time, please make your way down to Sierra Subaru of Monrovia. It's not just about selling cars. I want to talk about a couple events that Sierra Subaru has going on in the month of September. Sierra Subaru's Labor of Love will honor Monrovia's police department. Sierra Subaru will host a special luncheon to express appreciation for the incredible work our police department has done day in and day out. Every single month, they're doing something within the community, also in September. They're teaming up with the Pasadena girls basketball team in an amazing partnership that's all about teamwork, dedication, and community spirit. Sierra Subaru believes sports has the power to bring people together, teach life lessons, and inspire future leaders. Head to sierrasubaru.com for more information. Again, that's sierrasubaru.com, or visit them at 735 East Central Avenue in Monrovia, just off the 210 freeway.
Travis and Sliwa, and it's time for the segment we do around this time, 10:40 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Hey, did you see that sky today?
Did you guys see that?
Basically, the days we don't do Ask Slee, we do this thing. It's called Hey, Did You See?
Did you see that? I saw it. I did it.
Did you see the memo about this?
I mean, I'm excited. You can tell by my read. Hey, did you see?
Oh, hey, did you happen to see?
It's time for Hey, Did You See?
Hey, man, did you touch my drum set?
Have you read this? Right now on Travis and Sliwa.
What's up, Foo?
What's up, Foos? All right, Emily. So I got an interesting question that you can ask tonight.
Okay.
Can you ask whoever's sitting in front of you? Can you give me your best Jersey accent?
Pass me the vino.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What's the drinking situation for you? Like, do you super moderation, or you just
I'll
kinda...
probably sip on a glass.
Okay.
Yeah.
If somebody's just hammering beers, is that a
Probably
red
not a
flag?
good look.
Yeah.
Probably not the best
Probably
part.
not listening to what we're saying.
Okay.
I don't think this is like
I got ripped before, and now I'm just trying
I
to.
had 6 before I got here. It had 3 more since it started.
I might have like a
Couple
beer at home
bongs.
as like a confidence booster, and
Sure.
then sip on a wine there. But I'm not intending to be, or I don't want the other person I'm talking to be drunk either.
What's up, Jorge?
All right, so we've been talking about Coach Prime lately, and he was in an interview, or he was interviewing Tom Brady, and Tom Brady, well, one of his sons, Coach Prime's son, is it Shador?
Shador.
Yeah, Shador. He's apparently driving a Rolls Royce, and then before they
As
wrapped up,
college quarterbacks do.
But before they wrapped up the interview, this is what they asked Tom Brady.
One question before I go, Tom. Do you think a college kid needs a Phantom, like a Rolls Royce?
Nah. Hey, no, it's not a Phantom. It's a Rolls Royce cousin.
I think he needs to get his ass in the film room and spend as much time in there as possible.
Thank you,
less
Tom.
time in the car and more time in the film room.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate
And I
that.
seen you have one.
All right, so Tom Brady.
What did he say at the end there?
I've seen that you have one. He turns it back on him.
Yeah.
But he's not playing anymore.
Right.
So if somebody like Tom Brady, who was arguably the best quarterback ever,
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
giving you advice to go in the film room, should you pay attention to him? And then my second question is, who is the person that gave you the best advice in life for your career?
I think if anybody is in your line of work that has had a great deal of success and says, you need to do this, you better listen, right? So if Howard Stern said, the thing that's helped me the most is blank, we should probably listen to him. Whether you like Howard Stern or not, the man has had maybe the greatest radio career of all time. He probably has some secret sauce. As far as the person that continues to, and I constantly think back of the things that he has told me about just life, about occupation, about relations, is my dad. A day doesn't go by where I don't think of something he's told me in relation to whatever's going on
That's your
single
Roman Empire.
day. Yes, that is my Roman Empire. Like, I'll think like, what would he think? Every day, and not in like a weird. Just it resonated.
I'm going to stick to the business side. So I'm fresh out of college, and I'm doing an internship. I'm in promotions at this time.
Country music station, that one?
Not that one. No,
Okay.
I was. Oh, there was a country moment there.
Yeah.
This is at
Skip Sliwa. Chip. I like Chip Sliwa for you.
This is at 1090 in San Diego, and you know the name, John Lynch.
Sure.
John
The
Lynch,
father of John Lynch.
the father of John Lynch.
Yeah.
So John Lynch Sr. And John Lynch, literally everyone that you know in the business probably at some point worked for John Lynch. And when I'm 21, for some reason, he's completely down to give me advice. I have a sales call. He comes with me. Like, it was just the weirdest thing, but he owned the station down there. And his piece of advice was, you better understand the business side. If you don't understand the business side, you could, whatever it is that you want to go accomplish, you got to make sure you understand how the business works. He's the one I give the most credit for.
And then I had, again, this is maybe, I listen to a podcast. They do this kind of like a life podcast every so often. They're usually pretty casual people, talk about sports. But they did a life podcast because something happened in one of these guys' lives. And so, one of their advice is that where you start is not going to be where you end up. So to take everything, to learn, to soak it in everything that you do, but to understand that, like, your story is going to end differently than you expect, and to be ready and open for how it is going to continue to evolve.
Yeah, cool. I like those.
It's a good question there, Jorge.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Getting
Thanks.
deep on us.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that Shador is comfortable enough in his own skin
to go back at TV,
to chap back at Tom Brady.
Yeah, you had one too, man.
That's tremendous. You have one. It's just great.
All right,
yeah, but I got it by studying and doing all these things. Yeah, but I can have it now. What's the comeback to that?
True. All right, so recently I went to the Rams game, against my Niners.
I saw you.
And then I saw the Clippers arena, the new Intuit arena. That thing is looking nice.
It is.
I'm not gonna lie, it's looking nice.
Toilets!
So we already know they have toilets, yes. Yeah. But now the Clippers arena is going to have an acre-size scoreboard.
Crazy.
Acre-size scoreboard. So when you go to an arena, what is it that you look at? Like me, the food. Toilet! The scoreboard. Can I watch it from anywhere? And then the seats. How comfortable am I going to be there? Because I'm going to be there for like 2.5 hours or whatever. That's what I look for in a stadium, entertainment, whatever. What is it that you look for when you go to a different arena? Like you went to Coors and they didn't let you sit in the section across because they didn't give you a ticket. So what do you look for when you go to an arena?
Can I tell you something that changed my whole view of stadiums? When I walked into SoFi, I'm like, that scoreboard that goes, all around, my head could not process what I was seeing. There's something about, and I know, if I sit somewhere, can I make sure that, it doesn't matter the seat at the stadium, do I have a good scoreboard that I can see? That is actually a very underrated, important one. Well, they'll put a badass scoreboard on that side, but if you're on that side, it's a smaller one here. I don't know why that annoys me, but it does. I want to be able to, where I'm sitting in a live event, I don't miss anything. If I didn't catch it there, you got me there, or I could see it there. That's something, maybe because of SoFi, it kind of changed my whole view of that.
That's the right answer. That is the right answer. And it's because of SoFi that it changed the game. That no matter where you are in that place, you have every
Jerry's World had it too.
But that's right. But it's not. His is flat, right? And it's not, there's no inside of it. So if you're low in Jerry World, it's very hard to see the scoreboard because it's up in there. If you're low in SoFi, you can see the inside of the other side, and it's a very easy look. Like, for instance, Dodger Stadium, one of my favorite places on earth, if you're down the left field line, it's very hard to see the scoreboard.
Right. Yep.
You can't see it. Right? You can see the one in right field, but the one in left field, it's hard to see. The Rose Bowl has no video boards to speak of other than one very small one at one end.
You're right.
And you miss it. But all of a sudden, when you see that SoFi, that idea that Ballmer's going to put in there an acre, it's tremendous. It's going to be a huge hit.
So my two things, and again, these are memorable stadiums for me. Stadiums that I'm like, that was a very cool experience to be at, is the view from the stadium. If it's on the water, if it has a mountain view, if it has a really cool vista, that goes way above everything for me, because then I'm like, wow, I was in a really cool place. I just remember being in the stadium.
The experience of it,
is way more important to me than the scoreboard. And then also access to food and drink. And then if I have one at every outset, then that's great. And if I don't have to walk upstairs to get to, like, because I'm not paying a ton of money to get my ticket. So if there's escalators, if there's easy stairs, all that stuff, those are the three things. They might be in minute, but those are mine.
You know, another good one is how long is it going to take me to get out of here? I don't know if that's an LA thing.
Parking,
it may be an LA thing, but getting out of Dodger Stadium, awful. Getting out of the Rose Bowl, awful. Getting out of SoFi Stadium, awful.
That's why you leave at the 90th minute when it's tied.
Right. Get out
okay,
that's why
one other
turn
thing.
off your mic, man.
One other thing there. The other thing I absolutely love that I think more ballparks are doing, they're bringing the local beers. They're bringing the local food. They're bringing, I use Petco as an example, and I know Dodger Stadium does it to an extent too.
Petco was one of the first.
Petco's got them all. Even like Alpine Brewery.
Everything.
It doesn't matter. What is local is now inside that park. I love that.
Whatever you want is available. It's almost harder to find the mass-produced one. It's
just leave early.
They got
You're good. There's no
Taco Bell is local in Tokyo.
You
saw it.
That's
I read it.
I kind of, upon further review, you should have eaten there just to see if there's like a little Japanese twist on it, right? Like, I don't know if
there's better
ramen
cleaner.
noodles in the burrito supreme. I don't know. Like,
I was too busy having one of their pork buns.
Those are good.
I was like, give me that.
Those are pretty good. All right, you brought up Dion Jorge. Dion was talking about his son, and he mentioned the USC quarterback. There's a whole lot in Dion's answer that I want you guys to hear. It's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
Nobody protects you from mayhem.
The return of
of $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Your chance to win $1 million from 710 ESPN.
Listen every Monday this football season for your chance at $1 million. $1 Million Mondays.
Presented by Hollywood Park Casino. Eat, drink, play.
Listen every Monday to 710 ESPN. When you hear the cue to call, be caller number 7. Give us your Super Bowl prediction, both teams and the final score, and you could be winning $1 million this football season on LA's $1 million mega sports station, 710 ESPN. LA's mega sports station, 710 ESPN, home of #funny people.
Yeah.
If I were seeing me, okay, I'm not encouraging anybody else to do this, but if I were seeing me, I would be making a lot of Kool-Aid Man jokes right now. Just
like this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Huh? The MLS Cup hero, Maxime Crepeau, is back for
way, unsportsmanlike with Evan, Candy, and Michelle. Now, mornings 6 to 10 a.m. on LA's mega sports station, 710 ESPN. KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
It's Travis Rogers, Alan Sliwa. Travis and Sliwa.
But do you think it's the right move? Do you think it's the right strategy?
No. Live from LA Live on 710 ESPN.
So I've gotten a lot of great suggestions, and if those weren't here earlier in the show, I'm going speed dating tonight, and I haven't been before, and I'm kind of trying to think about what question I want to ask that will, like, stick in people's minds, but that would also get me to, like, figure out who I want to be with. All right, so this one is from Animal Fries. Well done. Thank you, Animal Fries. And he says, what's the nicest thing that someone has ever done for you? And then he says why to ask it is because it tells you what others think of them and what they value, and they are capable of gratitude. So that might be something that, again, it's a cool story you might hear out of it.
That's a really good one. Like, you'll get, I think, a thoughtful answer there.
Right. And then another funny one is from E-Money in Napa.
Come on, E-Money.
And he says, if animals could talk, which animal would be the dumbest? And what do you guys think is the answer to? This is kind of an ass-ly.
What animal is the dumbest?
I think... no, I don't want to say
Definitely
that.
not cats. Cats are smart.
No, cats
as
are
hell.
smart. So, okay,
some dogs fall into this equation.
Deer?
Some.
Deer are pretty dumb.
Yeah.
What about a horse? Because a horse lets some other animal sit on its back and ride it around. Like, the ones that try to buck you off, I think, are pretty smart.
I think I could sit and have a bourbon with a horse. You'd be that smart.
Yeah,
I think donkeys are dumber than horses, though.
Okay.
That's how I feel.
Donkeys
could be good.
Yeah, that's a one.
Just anything that...
Pig.
Chicken.
No, pigs are really
Pigs are smart. Yeah, pigs are smart.
How about a
Elephants are
chicken?
smart.
Yeah.
Chicken's just...
Chickens are pretty stupid.
Yeah, chicken is pretty stupid. Look at the one from Moana. Hey, that's a stupid chicken. Seriously.
And then someone else asked, I can't remember, I can't find it right now, but which Roy sibling are you and why? So again, Roy siblings are the Succession characters. And I think a better question is, which Roy sibling are you and why? And then also, which Roy sibling did you like the most and why? Because I feel like I might be most similar to Shiv, but I don't know if I like Shiv the most. So maybe that's like a little...
What if the response is, who with the what now?
And then I'll probably move on. But again, I don't blame everybody if they don't watch Succession. I'll probably just find something else they probably watch.
I was going to say, but what if it's literally, I have no idea what you're talking about. Is that, because I know you like that show.
Yeah.
I know that that's a show that you have analyzed and everything else. Would that be like they literally were unaware of its existence? Is that a red flag?
It's a yellow flag, but then I might ask them, So if you didn't catch Succession, what do you watch on TV?
I don't watch much TV.
And then that turns into a maybe we were not going to get along kind of thing because it is a passion of mine.
You know, TV is the opiate of the masses. I just don't indulge. What if you got one of those?
That would be a definite red flag, or like I don't have a TV in my house because I don't want to have the other countries coming into my home.
Oh, they already got you on that.
Well, of course.
It's your phone.
I'm just saying, if that's the answer, it's a definite.
What if they didn't like
flag.
sports?
If they don't like sports, that's honestly a green flag.
I couldn't agree more.
Couldn't
agree more.
But I think it's okay if they do like sports. It's not a red flag if they do like sports. It's just that if they don't like sports but they like other things, I think that's also interesting.
So tell me if you run into this one out.
Okay.
This happens to me occasionally, and I don't love it. My group of friends that I have, we talk about a lot of things, including sports, and I'm happy to talk about sports with them because we also talk about our families, our lives, our work, and it's fine. And I'm happy to have that be part of the rich tapestry of what we discuss with my friends. Somebody that I know casually that really only knows me through what I do.
Sure.
And the only thing they try to engage me on is so deeply off-putting. It's like, guys, I can talk about things that are not the Dodgers and Rams, and I would like to. I would like to talk about something else. That insistence on trying to hammer home the sports thing, to M's point, is not necessarily a red flag, but I have no idea what any of that is. Let's talk about something else. I love that.
Because I have my friends that I watch sports with, and I have my friends I watch sports with, and I have my friends I don't watch sports with. And I think that as long as I have somebody to watch football with, is always fun for me.
But I will say that there's something about someone who's in a unique line of work. I almost can't help myself. And I look at it the other way. Somebody's looking at, wow, you're in a very interesting line of work. Oh my gosh, right. You crack a mic 5 days a week.
If you wanted to ask me about the radio business, I'm happy to. That's interesting to me.
Yeah.
But if you want to give me your takes on the Lakers, I don't really want to chew on that so much. I was at a team party for Michael, and one of the fathers of one of Michael's teammates is a captain of ships, like cruise ships. Like he's in charge of the. Fascinating. I've never met anybody that was in charge of cruise ships.
Right.
I built these ships. I had a million questions, and he was wonderful. So I understand the impulse of that. It's not
the truck driver I mentioned. I'm like, tell me more.
I'm an accountant. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of know what that is, and okay, let's find another thing. I sail boats around the ocean and take people. I got a lot of questions about that. What about the Lakers?
They're going to break down. They want
I love it.
They want what we're doing.
All right, so Dion M, you got the sound for this?
Yes.
So Dion was doing an interview. He was being interviewed, and the subject went to Shadour's position in the draft, when he might go, why would he go, who would he go behind, and just a series of questions. And I want you to listen to how Dion talks, because I can't quite differentiate between whether he's talking about Shadour as his coach or as his dad.
It's not about what I'm seeing from them. Mm-hmm. It's about a whole lot of other things. Teams, position, round projection, all of that plays a role. Mm-hmm. Because now with NIL and who they are, shoot, you could make just as much money here as you can there, unless you, one of the first 5 picks. But Shadour don't want to be two to nobody. He don't get down like that. Mm-hmm. So, people projecting him behind, Caleb Williams, and Caleb Williams is phenomenal. But Shadour ain't no backseat rider. He drives his Maybach. He don't have a driver in it. He drives it.
I thought it was a Phantom. Okay. So, dad or coach or a little bit of both? Because that sounded a lot like dad to me and a little bit like coach.
I don't know. There's a kind of a pitch in there, It's part of the team. There's a lot more factors that go into it. There's a lot more factors that go into it. I think paying attention to Dion right now, he's in an interesting spot because he's not just a coach. He's not just this is not Saban, and your connection is the players, and, oh, by the way, we're trying to win a national championship. We move on to this. Deion Sanders got 2 of his kids that are a part of this team and getting an incredible amount of publicity.
Shadour's got to be on the Heisman Trophy shortlist, right? It's 3 games, so everybody can, the list is probably 30 names long.
It's so early.
But he's on it.
Right. Everybody keeps talking about him. I thought the NIL part of it was interesting.
I'm sorry, Al. Look at the TV behind you. It says stopping Shedeur. There's the topic on the college football show.
Yep, on ESPN.
Like, he's front and center of everybody's mind.
NIL portion of it that he mentioned about what can you make in the NFL? Cool. We can actually do that now here in the college scope of things. So if you see him more as a parent there, I see a little bit more of a there's a parent side to it. I'm also talking about my program, and I'm also talking about the team.
The NIL portion is DeMarco and I had this conversation a couple of Fridays ago, and saying that you're not going to be able to do it over and over and over again, but in Caleb Williams' case, in Shedeur Sanders' case, in some other cases where guys have some eligibility remaining and are making real money off of the field, not just, hey, I got this or that. Like Shedeur, I don't know what Shedeur makes, but Caleb Williams, I've heard, is making as much as $5-10 million a year at SC. And what you heard Deion say is, well, it depends what we're talking about. What position? Like, okay, are the Chicago Bears going to take him? Well, I don't want to do that. Are the Pittsburgh Steelers going to take him? All right, well, that's a different conversation. And if it is the Bears or the Texans or one of these teams that's just ridiculous, I can go back to Aflac and say, hey, listen, Shedeur wants to come back for one more year. Any way we can get him on an NIL? You know what Aflac's going to say? Sounds good to us. Yeah, bring him in. We'll do a commercial tomorrow. That there's access to money that's never been there before, and that coaches, and again, Deion is so far ahead of the curve. He's so much better at seeing the big picture than some of these other guys. Who would you want to give you advice on how to manage your career as both a college football player and a pro football player? Deion Sanders or Dabo Swinney? Do you think Deion might see the whole picture a little bit better than Dabo?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what he can sell, whether it's to his own kid or to the next kid.
I've been there. I've accomplished so much. Everyone believes in me. I have all these connections.
And I broke the mold. Like, you don't have to play their game. Keyshawn used to say this to me occasionally, too. Like, don't look at that. They want you to look at that. That's not part of it. This is the part of it that matters. This is what actually matters. And he was right way more often than he was wrong. And I think Deion is also, guys, you don't understand. We don't have to play this game of first, second, and I see the whole board. I know every move before it even happens, and I can not only put my son in the right position to succeed, I can put all my play. What an amazing pitch to some high school kid that's deciding where he wants to go next.
Colorado at Oregon. We did it for a quick second last week. I think we both thought at that time, and I thought it as well, and I still believe this, I'd rather have Oregon win because I think it's more beneficial to SC later down the road. Can you imagine if Colorado beat Oregon? What is Colorado USC in a week from Saturday?
It's an S show in the best possible way. The hype would be out of this world. The attention would be like national championship level attention because it's presupposing that SC beats Arizona State, who stinks. So they're likely to.
Yeah, they got to take care of their business.
But you got to play the game.
But you do have to play the game. But the reigning Heisman Trophy winner on an unbeaten team that looks like they're really good, going up against a thing that nobody other than the players in that locker room and the coach on the sideline saw coming. You have classic old school college football royalty against the new guy. Right?
Against prime time.
In Colorado, where they go hard.
Yep.
At 9 a.m.
At 9 a.m., right?
At 9 a.m.
I changed my answer. My parents who are Oregon alum are going to hate this. My son is an Oregon fan. He's going to hate this. I wouldn't hate seeing the Buffs shock the world in Eugene. Because what it would set up would be amazing.
By the way, I know it takes some off of it, but it's still, let's just say Oregon beats them, which I think most people think is going to happen. I know what you're talking about. That's undefeated. Yeah. What the hell? Like
Candidate A, candidate B.
Lincoln Riley, Deion Sanders.
Right.
Speaking of DeMarco kept saying on Friday, he's like, look, Deion has his pitch. Riley has a pitch too. Lincoln Riley has a great pitch. He's one of the few that has a pitch that's just as good as Deion Sanders, but I get what that would mean.
But if you're a quarterback, you might go to Lincoln Riley. If you're honestly almost anybody else, you might go to Deion Moore.
That's a good
if
point.
you're a quarterback or you're a receiver, because
Gets
Lincoln
guys in
also
the
gets
league.
the receivers
Sure.
in the league.
Can I be the bad guy for a second? Here's what none of us want to have happen. Oregon kicks their ass.
Yeah.
And then SC kicks their ass. And then we're back
down to earth.
Okay. That was cool. That was fun. But all right, they finally ran into a couple of teams that are pretty darn good. And not only did they lose, but they got drilled.
Okay, let's say they lost by 10 against Oregon.
That's fine.
10 against USC.
That's fine. We're good. We're a top 25 team. We're winning games. We got Coach Prime. We got Shador. Travis Hunter's coming
on the right
back.
track.
We're on the right track. Here we go. You lose by 3 touchdowns to Oregon and 4 to SC.
Yeah.
We got a problem.
I don't think 60 Minutes will be going to Colorado for
Did you see that?
week 6. I watched clips of it. I did not see the whole thing.
I haven't seen it yet. I have it on my DVR. I'm still
You
old
still have a
school.
DVR. But I think
Can I tell you? I did that just so you would say that. Just so I
Gotta go TiVo.
I'm throwing these pitches up and you're roping them.
But
Record it on my VCR.
Yeah, on my
Don't tape over
VHS
the
tape.
game. I haven't seen it yet.
Of course. Over the Brady Bunch.
Watched that 2 nights ago, as a matter of fact.
Not when the tape would come out. You had to roll it.
I do find it interesting, based off of what Dion has said too about people talking about his own team, putting it out there that he put a little bit out about Caleb Williams. He did back off of it right
Quickly.
away, but he did say that Shadur's number 2 to nobody.
Yes.
But I think it's more about Shadur than it is about Caleb
big
Williams.
time.
That sounded, again, to me, more like Pop Dion as opposed to Coach Prime. Like nobody, my son doesn't take a backseat to anybody. Dion,
maybe Caleb.
Dion is too savvy of a football person to look at those 2 quarterbacks and not understand that Caleb Williams is different. And that's not any shade at Shador Sanders at all.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams is one of those guys that I think everybody is pretty darn sure is going to be a good pro. Shador may or may not be. We'll see. Caleb feels very
that's
likely.
happening.
Yeah, it does. And
Listen, we were talking about Caleb Williams before the season even started for the Rams. Hey, just punt on the season. You don't do that for anybody.
You don't do that for Tim Couch, Ryan Leaf.
Probably not.
It seemed it would be a bad strategy. Cam Akers is gone. What does that mean exactly? We'll tell you next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
710 ESPN.
If you're feeling down, I just wanna make you happy.
So this is a X post on X from Positively Black. So Positively Blacks, and then, again, this is going to be an interesting one. So
this is for your speed dating?
This is for speed dating. Again, if you were listening earlier, I'm going on a speed dating tonight, and I'm trying to ask questions that I should ask these people to get to kind of get to the bottom of it and have them remember my name. So the question from Positively Black is, you have to hit them with a hard question. What are your thoughts about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift? Okay? Because it's interesting because...
That's official, right? Like, it's everything but official?
I have some sound on it really quick, and I'll explain it a little bit more, but I feel like...
Yeah, it was 8. I feel like it's a lot more than 8.
You'll go on Twitter.
We started counting 8 days ago. I think is what we're on.
Right.
So it's really one of those things before stats were right. counted. That's what this is.
Like Deacon Jones before quarterback sacks were tallied.
Exactly. But I feel like it's a really difficult thing to ask about Taylor Swift because I don't want to be met with someone who's very anti, because I think that'll cloud a lot of my judgment on this person, because I think that it'd be difficult. But then I also want to, if they are a fan, then we can talk about it. But Travis Kelce was on the Pat McAfee show about maybe 20 minutes ago, and this is what he said when Pat McAfee asked him about Taylor Swift.
You hate that this is happening, though?
Yeah.
You hate that this is happening?
No, I mean, it's life, baby. It's life. I threw it out there. I threw the ball in her court, and, I told her, maybe I've seen you rock the stage in Arrowhead. You might have to come see me rock a stage in Arrowhead and see which one's a little more lit. So we'll see what happens in the near future.
Pretty good pick.
All right. So essentially, here's what I have deduced both my sports side and my Taylor Swift side of my life. They're texting. They have exchanged. She finds him charming, is what their reports, but that they are texting. But could build to more. We haven't seen, again, for me and for, I think, people who follow Taylor Swift, it is not official until you literally see them together. And then everything else is up in the air.
It's like Bigfoot. Until I see it, I don't believe it. Yeah, but the Bigfoot texted.
I think he's an email in and he hasn't got an email back.
And this is a lot of Travis talking about it, not a lot of Taylor talking about it.
Yeah.
So it could be Travis, I don't know, wanting to build his brand.
Yeah, okay.
And maybe not necessarily that it's reciprocated.
That's a dangerous game, though, right?
Exactly.
Because if he's trying to build some rate off of her fame, all it would take is for her to go, I don't even know who that is.
Right.
And he's torpedoed.
Exactly. So I think we're still in this stage of...
His stats just start plummeting.
Mahomes stops throwing the ball.
It is...
The Taylor curse is going to become a thing.
Honestly.
Taylor Swift curse.
But this is the only athlete she's ever been connected to.
30 for 30 in 3 years on Kelce's
What
decline.
if I told you there was an all-pro tight end that shot his shot and was never the same ever again?
Oh,
so
man,
that's the both sides of the camp update. A lot of the stuff on ESPN, a lot of stuff on other things just come from the Travis Kelce camp. I'm trying to provide both sides. So again, if you're interested, that's what the update is.
Just gut react. Are they a couple?
I think they're talking.
Okay. That's a yes. She doesn't.
I think they're texting.
I say no. I think I need more. I feel like he's the one. I give him all the credit in the world. Take your shots. I just think right now he's hitting the back of the rim.
But again, it's like a whole thing of like, I might be texting some guy, and he's not interested in me at all, but I'm texting him. It's not reciprocated. So we haven't seen the reciprocal aspect of this.
Oh, but if you're texting, there's interest. Both sides.
Not always. I've texted people that have not been interested in me.
This is fascinating to me because I have not been in this unit. With
texting, yeah.
Being in a relationship where the given back and forth of texting and ghosting and Instagram, I don't know. That's way before my time when it comes to starting and maintaining a relationship. If there was somebody that was interested in me, that was texting me, that I had no interest in, I'm not responding. You know what I mean? Like, I am not like, hey, what's going on? Nothing.
But
hey, what are you up to? And then it's like,
you can tell the vibe.
I'm not doing this.
Yeah. She could also have more than one person she's texting. It's not a committal. Things like that. There's that in there. But one other thing, too, Ryan Reynolds has followed Travis Kelce, was not following him before. Ryan Reynolds is one of Taylor Swift's best friends. So there's also that out there. But like the Haim sisters haven't followed.
All those
any of our other friends haven't followed.
Did you guys ever see the movie A Beautiful Mind with Russell Crowe?
Yeah.
Yes.
And Jennifer Connelly? Just make sure we get Miss Connelly.
Maybe, yeah, make sure we get in there.
You know when he's got that board with all the strings
Yes.
connecting? I figure there's a Taylor Swift board with strings to various people in your house.
I am Pepe Sylvia-ing this.
I
and
swear
it's like, there's
I
no
was
Pepe
just going to
Sylvia.
say, so that's Charlie Day and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and I was just going to say, no. She's got the cigarette at home walking around saying, I don't know, the mail.
They're texting, but there's no picture evidence. I don't understand.
Same idea,
She
right?
is that exact same concept.
Did you know that on this day, like just a lot of random connections that
I always love those when they
I
have.
overwhelmed Clinton with it this morning because he tried to engage in conversation about it with me, and then I was trying. I gave some.
He's
deep
like,
cuts
"Oh,
in the
crap."
lore, and
Did you
he's
bring
like,
up
"Em,"
his 6 errors at shortstop?
he's like, "Em, we're gonna talk about it later. This is way too deep," and so again, I have to gauge the depth.
Quite a few.
That was interesting.
It was
I didn't
quite
know
a
that
few.
was coming in.
Oh, it's always coming in.
Yeah, I didn't know that was coming
It's
in.
always coming in. All right, so the Rams made a move yesterday. They traded Cam Akers to the Minnesota Vikings for stuff. There's a pick swap or there's a conditional 6th and 7th. It's you can have him if you want him.
Literally
right?
means nothing.
So here's what I don't understand. I understand we all have blind spots, right? There are things that the rest of the world can see about us that we can't see about ourselves. It's every human being that's ever lived, right? I don't know if I've ever seen a person less self-aware than Cam Akers when it comes to how to navigate your own career. Because this is a guy that really, other than a game here or there, has not had any meaningful impact on this Rams team, who got into it with the head coach who is wildly respected, who is running the show there, who has a Super Bowl trophy in his office. You get into it with him, and the coach basically says, you know what? You can go away for a while. We're done.
Did you say last year when it was all going down, he has to do something because
if he doesn't, now that's
people are going to start to, and Sean McVay didn't wait to do anything.
He did
so.
exactly what all good coaches do, which is we're not doing that. You're
who
out
are
here.
respected.
Right, exactly right. Mm-hmm. So that happens. They try to move him. The NFL responds with crickets. Not interested. That guy, we don't want him. The Rams do the thing that they probably regret, which is, you know what, bring him back in here. We need him. And he played okay. The very beginning of the next, hold on, I forgot one thing. During the offseason, between that and where we are now, every good running back, Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, all of the guys that we agree are really good at what they do, either get contracts that are very short-term and undervalued or no deal at all.
Yep.
Right? The league is saying, that position is not important to us at a high price. Then you start the season, and in one game, you're right back in the coach's doghouse. You're about to be a restricted free agent at the end of the year. How does anybody torpedo themselves in their career like that? Not just say, look, I'm going to do the best I can. This isn't perfect, but it's not I don't think the league wants me. I know the league doesn't want me. They had a chance to get me last year. Nobody did anything.
Okay, let me say this. I think sometimes maybe there's just the Rams weren't keeping Cam Akers because they loved him and they loved his play. There was a little bit of we don't really have too many options. What if just for Cam Akers, from his perspective, just give me a new beginning? Yes, this is on me. He gets to be under a coach that was his offensive coordinator earlier in 2021. But for the Rams, sometimes there's a lot of this. I like that this didn't linger. This was a story for how long? And I know there was a story behind it, but less than a week it was issue, we think, with Cam Akers. Now you got to address it during post-game interviews. Now you got to address it on Monday. I don't think he's going to be here. And then by Thursday, this will be arguably the last time we talk about Cam Akers and whatever that wasn't working in there.
It's not like Jonathan Taylor. It's not like, Le'Veon Bell or anything like that. It's over quickly.
It's not about what you got. No. It's out the door now. We got a game on Monday, and you and I are probably not going to talk about it again moving forward.
The reason that they could do it, and Em, you brought up two good ones, Le'Veon Bell and Jonathan. Le'Veon Bell and Jonathan Taylor were really good. So I can't just kick you out of here. You're too valuable to me. I got to get something coming back. I can't fire Jonathan Taylor. I can't. I don't want to. He's too good. I got to get something coming back. It's got to be on my terms. I'm willing to dig in and fight with you, but I'm not just going to say, dude, just get the hell out of here. He's Cam Akers. He's a guy that never really solidified himself as the number one guy at any point. You're going to go pick a fight with a guy that's probably got as much juice in this league as anybody.
Fumble twice in that Tampa Bay game?
The Tampa Bay game.
Yeah.
He was the beginning of that, oh, my God, it's going to happen again.
The most important thing, it was a story, and now it's not a story. And I think that's the part that I look at the Rams, and I'm like, okay, hey, They wasted no time to make sure they're 1-1. They got a chance to go into Cincinnati on Monday night. Joe Burrow might be there. They got a chance to go 2-1. You go look at the rest of the NFC. Yes, there's some teams that are kind of the upper echelon, but after that, there's a mix of mediocre teams. They want to focus on football.
They don't do drama. You look at them under the Sean McVay era. They really. Aaron Donald had a contract issue, but it never got ugly. It never got. Is he going to just not show up? You knew he was coming. You knew they'd get it done. You knew they'd pay him. Everybody'd be happy. It keeps going on. They don't do drama. Gurley, okay, boom, gone. Goff. We decided. Boom, gone. They don't do drama. Even the Stetson Bennett thing with whatever's going on there. It's like he's our number 2 quarterback. Yeah, he's gone. Like okay, nope. We're no noise, no nothing.
There's rules. Follow them, and you're pulling with us, not against us.
Are you be at your best when your best is required? We, not me. All of these things, they're not. It's not just something painted on the wall. It's what they expect. And if you're not living up to it, next guy
Which
up.
Takes me back to Kelce and Taylor.
I thought it takes you back to your time as a Charger fan, when it's like everything's wonderful.
Marlon McCree.
Factor Cap's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. So making an all-star team is pretty good. Winning an MVP is amazing, right? What if you could win the MVP 13 years in a row? That's what Rotolo Chevrolet has done. Dealer of the Year, 13 years in a row. Do you know how good you have to be at something? And that's what Rotolo Chevrolet is. They're just amazing at making sure you get what you want. The right Chevy Silverado, the right Chevy car or truck at the right price with impeccable, excellent, top-line customer service. That's what Mike Capozio and his team deliver every single day. I've bought a car from Rotolo. I've gone through the process from the financing to looking to the entire thing. It's like nothing I've ever experienced. Everything should be like this. You know, whenever once in a while you get that really good one, imagine if you knew you were going to get that every single time. And that's what you get at Rotolo. Right off the 210 freeway, Sierra Avenue exit, right there in Fontana. And tell them that Travis sent you in. If you can't get into the store, go online. RotoloChevy.com. That's ROTOLO, RotoloChevy.com.
A fun way to
Hey guys, it's producer Lindsay Baseball, and guess what? Thursday Night Football has a brand new home, and it's the 909 Sports Bar at Yamava Resort and Casino. Join me and the 710 Fun Games Department every Thursday night for a party. I will be giving away $1,000 cash every Thursday night. So this Thursday from 4 to 7 at the 909 Sports Bar, win cash and watch football with me, producer Lindsay Baseball. Or maybe they should call me Lindsay Football. See you there.
Cap, but I'm going to go back.
First of all, it's not a cap. It's
No, it
just
is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
So in addition, hey guys,
I am.
to speed dating today, we are going to do a draft at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
And our draft is going to be on wrestlers, which I have. Okay, when I was thinking about it, I have no history with wrestlers at all. But then I was thinking about it, and it's like I know way more wrestlers than I thought.
Everybody does.
It's so pervasive. It's so crazy.
Oh, this is going to be a good one.
You
so
jabronis hit the jackpot.
it takes us back. Like, I know, Jorge, we mess around with this. We used to watch WWF back in the day. There are so many all-time greats, and the UFC and WWE, one bought the other. I don't know who bought who. I think
they merged.
WWF bought WCW.
Yeah.
Okay, so
they did merge. Yes,
a merging of equals, as they say in succession.
That's a big story from last week. We'll rate our favorite wrestlers of all
draft
time.
our favorite wrestlers.
Draft. Yep.
All right. So this is according to a reporter. So I can't remember who the reporter was. Sorry. So
Walter Cronkite.
Yeah, who cares?
Who cares? So again, I'm gonna butcher this name. I'm gonna try to say this name. So Yusai Kikuchi. Is that how you say it? So
Sounds
he
about
he's a pitcher, and he said that the reason that he was suffering from cramps was because he only got 11 hours of sleep instead of his usual 13 to 14 hours of sleep. So apparently, he usually goes to bed at 11 p.m. and then wakes up at like 1 p.m. So it's an insane sleep schedule that, again, you miss half your life. But whatever. So you wish you could sleep like Yusai Kikuchi. Travis.
Cap. Like you just answered it, Em. There's stuff that I'd like to get done every day. I like to sleep. I like the value of a little half-hour nap here or there. It's very refreshing. It kind of keeps you going for the second part of the day. I think like the Spanish have it figured out, right? Like we're going to start our day a little later. We're going to work a little bit. We're going to go home. We're going to eat. We're going to sleep a little bit. We'll work a little later, and then we'll keep it going late into the night. That sounds perfect, right? That just sounds lovely. Hibernating like a bear for half your life sounds miserable. No, I don't want to live like that.
And then you
at
get
all.
cramps if you don't get the full.
Yeah. Just like whenever you have a long, like I don't know, let's say you normally sleep for 6 hours.
Okay.
If you, for whatever reason, you sleep for 8,
I'm more tired the next day.
I feel like garbage.
I'm
the
more
next
tired.
day.
Yeah.
Al?
Okay, I go Cap, but I want to go even a step further. Do you ever read the emails? Stephanie Alexander, who basically does so much around the office.
Yep.
Shout out, Stephanie.
When it's a birthday, she will write some things. BK, Brian Kamnitz had a birthday earlier. Morales' birthday, I think one of the things that she said was she asked these questions, and Chris will respond. One of the questions was, what's a superpower you want? He said something to the effect of not sleeping.
Right.
So instead of 11 hours of sleep or 13 hours of sleep, whatever he's getting, is there a way I could get the least amount of sleep possible but still be able to just go?
Be refreshed.
There's a Seinfeld episode where Kramer only sleeps in 20-minute increments, and then he gets so disoriented that he ends up getting thrown into the river.
All right, I don't want to be that, but man, if I could get more time in a day, that'd be great.
Jorge?
Cap. I don't think I can sleep 11, 12, 13 hours, whatever. It's a waste of time. And also, I get like 6. At least if I can get 4 solid hours in.
4 is good for you?
4 is
I
good
need
for
6.
me.
I can't operate at 4.
I need 6.
Yeah, 4 is...
You can do a day on 4,
right?
Like 2 days in a row of 4.
No. Yeah, you can
like
do
if you have a red-eye flight or something, you can catch a couple hours on that flight here and there, and like maybe
that I'm oddly very good at. If I go fly somewhere, I will just adapt right away and just power through it until it's their night, and I wake up.
I'm talking about sleeping on the flight.
Yeah,
like,
I can't do that.
I do that. I knock myself out.
I'm Russell Wilson doing high knees in the aisles.
Sure.
I have a hookup. I just knock myself out. All right. So on this day in 2004, Green Day's album "American Idiot" came out. All right. So I love this album. I listen to it all the time, and I listen to this song specifically a lot. I was in like my punk rock era when I was like 10 years old.
Okay.
I don't know why, but punk is having kind of a resurgence. A lot of Olivia Rodrigo's new music is very punk influenced. Not the main ones that you see on singles, but most of her album is very punk. So you had a punk face. Al, Factor Cap.
Fact, definitely. High school, Blink 182, Weezer, No Use
Did
for
your
a Name.
outfits match?
Hell no.
It was just the music.
I was still a Chaldean kid growing up in El Cajon.
You weren't
completely
wearing a
in
mohawk
that
like Sid
community
Vicious.
yet with that, but definitely had a punk phase. Red Hot Chili Peppers. These were all, by the way, just iconic, great bands. I mean, Weezer, I think of right out the gate. Blink-182, so definitely.
Blink-182 is a San Diego band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trev?
This may come as a huge surprise to you, but no, not really.
What?
Was that? But that had more to do with it was after.
No, it's no, because there's always been
It was
punk,
so popular.
Yeah, but you're talking about more popular. Like there's the Sex Pistols, there's the Dead Kennedys. There are all these bands from like the 70s and stuff that I knew about. Music, I like a lot of different types of music, but I've never been like, my identity is this genre of music, whether it's punk or country or pop or whatever it is, hip hop. I like a little bit of most things. So I never was really like, I'm only listening to my punk rock phase.
Jorge?
Absolutely. I told you guys about my skateboarding days. And then me and my homies, I was a camera guy recording these guys, and I would edit the videos.
Skate punks.
Yeah, exactly. So I would record the videos using music from NoFX, The Offspring.
Remember, I was just going to say Offspring, Bad Religion.
Exactly. Dude, all these
some random ones.
Pennywise, dude.
All these
absolutely. Dope bands.
You guys ready for this?
Sure.
This is a little flex time for me.
Got one?
No. The drummer for Bad Religion follows me on Twitter and Instagram.
Oh, no. That's solid.
Well, you don't post enough for him to stay.
And every time I do, he's one of the first. Greg Hudson.
Amazing.
Who has been and still plays with them, right?
You want another one that plays to your side? Flea had to issue you an apology.
That's right.
So every time I see it, I'm like, that's badass. Greg Hudson just liked my post. I love it.
Also, if you are a skater guy and stuff, one of the greatest documentaries I've seen in the most recent years is called Minding the Gap. It was nominated for the Oscar the same year up against Free Solo, so it didn't win, but it was my favorite documentary of the year, and I believe it's on Hulu. So Minding the Gap, if you're interested, that's my suggestion for you.
Pennywise. He threw out Pennywise. It's a good
no
one.
FX, man. The Offspring.
Good one, yeah.
All right, so James Dolan said that owning a team is stressful. He says, I don't really like owning teams.
Who said that? I'm sorry?
James Dolan,
Okay.
owner of the Knicks. So, again, you don't have to. No one's forcing you to own a team. But owning a team would not be fun. Jorge, Factor Cap.
Oh, no, I think it would be extremely fun. You know, you get to bring friends, family, all kinds of
But also,
people.
if they're doing bad, they chant, F Jorge, F Jorge.
It's okay. As long as we're not bad enough to where they're like have picket signs outside the stadium asking for my head, then I'm good. But I think it would be extremely fun to own a team, especially a soccer team. I would love to own a soccer team.
Trev?
I don't know if there's anything that would be more fun, right? Because if it's good, you get a ton of credit. You get to celebrate. Like Jorge was saying, you get to be front and center with all the partying and everything else. And if it's bad, you're still a billionaire. You can go chant F me all you want with your signs.
But
I own the
with
team
my
in the
private jet.
building. I'm going to get on my jet. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go to enjoy the rest of my life, right? And I'm going to still own the team, and I'll run it back next year, and you suckers are still going to show up and pay me to come and watch it anyway. So there's no downside to this.
I think also the downside in terms of if you like the sport is because I think the worst owners are people that care so much about that sport because they can only see their fandom. They don't see the clear-headed businesses of it. So I think that's why it'd be difficult if you're a fan to be an owner. Al?
Fact, 100% owning a team would not be fun. And I'll tell you, because I would care so much. And I'm not saying I don't want to own a team, but hypothetically, if I own the San Diego Padres and the city has never won a World Series before and has never won any championship before, and you're the only one, it's on your shoulders, I'm feeling that stress. I want to win, and it's so hard to win, but I would take owning a team 100 times out of 100 times.
I don't think I'd sweat it very often.
No,
it didn't work out.
I'd be
Will Ferrell. Remember we did the remote?
possible.
Will Ferrell
Yes.
showed up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He owns the LAFC. He shows up. He's like, hey, I was just in town. I heard you guys are here, and I came to say hi.
I think the best kind of ownership would be one in which you're not known. You're just like a group, like the Guggenheim Group or something. I don't know. You guys probably know who's in it, but
Mark
I don't.
Walter's like the top of the chain there.
Right.
But I'll be honest with you. If you had a lineup with 10 people of guys that kind of look like him, I'm not sure I could pick him out.
But you just put your money in. You gotta go to all the games. You gotta enjoy it all, and when you get the championship, if you do it lucky enough to win, you get the trophy first.
Let me ask you this: has it ever looked to you like Jerry Jones isn't enjoying himself being Jerry Jones?
Mark
yes,
Cuban's
I
not
think he's
enjoying
not
himself
enjoying
being
himself when
Mark
the
Cuban.
Cowboys are losing every year.
They're losing, but I guarantee you, he goes
I think
back.
Dr.
and
Jerry
opens
Buss
up
was feeling good.
The bottle of Johnny Walker Blue that he drinks like ice water and probably enjoys the rest of his.
Jerry
evening.
also wants to get another Super Bowl before he dies, and probably is holding off on that.
Okay, this is a great. We should talk about this when we come back because I don't know if that's true. I know that that's the common conventional wisdom, But I don't know if that's actually true. We'll do that when we come back. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
White boy on my roster, he be feeding me pasta and lobster. He just hit me up on Tuesday, like, which doing bad, let me take
So this is Taylor Swift to Travis Kelce. She's got a white boy on her roster. She has a roster available to her, okay?
She has an extensive roster.
Yes, exactly. So she has the ability. They're texting, they're talking. They might not be totally committed yet. That's where it is.
I think he sent an email, and that's it.
And they're in photos together. That's when it transitions.
The roster. Hi, Chris. What are you doing? We're trying to talk about Taylor
What do you mean?
Swift
What is he
over
doing?
here.
It's lit.
No, it's not. Oh, no, it is.
Thursday.
It is.
Well, I'm here
The
because
roster.
we're under some technical issues, so I've been asked to come in, which you know how much I love being asked to come in the third day of the week.
Woohoo!
Were you still up here, or did you come up this morning?
I wanted to. I was actually told, why not just stay at the East Central one more night last night by our owner, Sam. I said, no, I want to go home.
Sure, I can relate.
I want to go home, but I wasn't home very
away
long.
from home.
So you went home to the pirate ship, and now you're back?
Yeah, but Cappy had this whole thing where he wanted me to go to LAX with him to have a birthday dinner. And then he's
the
like,
airport.
he's like, you can Uber from the airport.
Doesn't sound right.
So anyway, I'm back. And just now I was talking to Slee. And you said, Chris, we're coming back. I said, I'm well aware.
Yeah.
But I'm talking to Slee.
I understand, but we're getting ready to start
trying to have a
segment.
nice conversation, and just straight interrupted us.
Yeah. And then you did the Morales thing. Where
No, I
now
meant you
just
interrupted
double
us.
back.
We were having the
it's fine.
conversation.
All right, then I'll stay out of it. Go ahead, finish it up.
How's everything going?
I just want to see. I wanted to see if you wanted to grab lunch after the show. You know, CMM style lunch. You know what I mean?
What if I told you today I can't?
What does that mean?
Everybody else has told me they can't.
Travis is available.
I didn't invite
he
Travis.
He does have a 2:00 deadline for his.
I got stuff I got to do.
What do you got to do?
Don't worry about it.
By the way, that wasn't a new picture you posted of your That was like an old picture.
It was when she cut my hair the last time.
Yeah, because I was thinking
the one and only time she cut my hair.
Right, that was old.
Yes.
Because I could just tell by the hairline, even in the back.
Well, and the color.
The color too.
It was a little darker.
Do you think, back in the day when we were kids, you go to a barber shop and you're basically, by the way, they may still do this. I just haven't had the experience in a long time. They have just all the photos. Hey, which cut do you want? What do you want the back to look like?
Okay, I've seen that. I know what you're talking about, but I've never said, like, give me the number 7.
No. But it's more like...
You like that with fries?
Yeah. Is that the beef and broccoli plate, or...
One from column A, one
They're
from
like,
column
we don't
B,
know
right?
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But do you ever see specifically be the back? Like, you want it tapered, you want it this, that. Do you know what's not on that list?
That
yours.
Straight across, halfway up the back of your skull. Yeah, that was
probably
it's not a good
probably
look.
not there.
It's not a good look. It's grown out.
You know what else I did today? And I've only been doing this recently because producer Lindsay last week on the show, I forgot, when the whole thing about how McDonald's was going to take away the found drinks.
Right.
And her, if Lindsay does it, that means everybody else does it in the world. She's like, well, whoever goes inside a McDonald's anymore? I go, well, once in a while I go inside because I want to fill my own found drink. But now, depending on what area you're in, going inside of any sort of QSR restaurant can be a little like, you can't just use the bathroom.
Do a little drive-through
and you
action.
still have to order on the screen a lot,
I
too.
felt so earlier in the week, I did not, over the weekend I went into one, and I didn't order on the screen because there was, today I did.
order to a person?
I did. Wow. Today I had to order on the screen, and I felt like an imbecile. And I'm thinking, I think I'm pretty smart, so how are less smart people doing this? And it took me like 10 minutes to order breakfast
Well, this
combo.
is how I ordered the cookie tote. I got a cookie tote in Denver off of that because I had to add 13 cookies right in a row.
So I went there,
13 cookies.
then I got on the train to come here because I thought, you know what? I'm being asked to do something I don't want to do, and we know how that usually goes with me. So I'm going to go to breakfast and sit there like a normal person and have some time to myself. And then there was a screaming gentleman next.
Stymied you.
Well, there was a coughing gentleman and there was a screaming gentleman.
Well,
she had a combination there. That's
and I was trying to record a social video, and I wanted to go like, sir, can you stop coughing and screaming? I got to record content for my Instagram.
You kind of have like the hat trick of those experiences, the frustration in ordering, and a couple of people that you got to keep your eye on at all times.
But you know what? That Egg McMuffin, it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. Did you hear?
Egg McMuffin, not a sausage McMuffin?
Egg.
That's old school.
I need sausage in there too.
Well,
cut that up.
Both?
I cut that up too.
Yeah, sausage and egg.
At the same sandwich?
Yeah, well, the sausage McMuffin.
But
I did that on
McMuffin
Sunday.
Doesn't have the slice of ham. Only the Egg McMuffin has the slice of ham.
Right.
Yeah, he does both. That's
I want
very exotic.
So you combine it?
That's what I'm saying.
No, sausage and egg.
Right, the sausage McMuffin.
Sausage egg McMuffin, yeah.
No ham.
That's the Egg McMuffin.
So you don't get the Egg McMuffin. You get the sausage McMuffin. The Egg McMuffin is the ham. The sausage McMuffin
I'm so
is the
confused
same.
here. What is happening?
Start over. Sausage McMuffin has the egg in it.
And the patty of sausage.
And the patty of sausage.
The Egg McMuffin has the egg and a slice of ham.
Canadian ham.
Okay, then sausage.
Canadian
sausage
ham.
McMuffin.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could
Here's
put it
the
together.
problem.
That's why I got so excited.
Here's the problem with the sausage McMuffin, and because I had that Sunday morning, I was a little feeling it after the Mandala party. McDonald's, along with every other fast food restaurant, now uses seed oils to fry everything. Whereas, like McDonald's French fries, when we were growing up,
peanut, right?
No, they were fried in beef oil.
Oh,
beef fat,
beef tallow.
Right. That became. It also was very expensive compared to seed oils, which are horrific for you.
Yep.
Which are just not
and
good.
The cheapest of the
And the cheap, and you could reuse it for days. And now they add beef flavoring to the fries. Anyway, does that oil is also being used to fry the sausage patty, which is again, it's not a horrible
thing. Does it go on
thing.
the griddle?
It does, but you're probably using oil for the griddle because you feel very heavy. Like on a Sunday, I didn't.
It's not a salad. I mean, it's a sausage sandwich.
Who cares?
So on a Thursday, when I had a full day of a CMM type lunch, and then being on standby with Gray, where we jump in on the afternoon show between like artifacting, I said, "Hey, we're gonna go Egg McMuffin."
What does
today.
artifacting mean?
When you're speaking and it's like Sedano and Cap, blah, blah, and then you hear the, and you think, "Oh, is this Independence Day?"
Oh my god!
Like remember,
There's
that's
a secret
artifacting.
code embedded in the noise.
Which is artifacting. It means our bit rate isn't holding because apparently our internet is under attack.
Just ours.
Why are they coming after us?
They heard about Ask Slee. And the Mexican alien, no, the Peruvian aliens. That was a Peruvian alien.
That was
No, hold on. They don't even. The Peruvians don't even know how the Mexicans got a hold of these
They stole
aliens
it from Peru?
Hey, I just read the story this morning. The Peruvians don't know how the Mexicans got them.
Everyone's
It's
resourceful.
interesting.
I don't know how authentic.
Did you
that
see the
story
thing on
is.
Instagram where they unwrapped the tamale and the
Yes.
alien was inside the tamale?
When they cut the alien into cake.
Yeah, that one too.
Yeah, those are terrific.
Or
You know,
it's
she's
Perico?
got, she's got speed dating tonight, right?
What
Do
does
you
that
know the
even
story?
mean? What's that mean?
I am going to a speed dating event where you go and you sit there and then you speed date.
Do they have
all
like
these
the
people.
bell?
I don't know. I haven't been, so we'll see. I don't know how much time there's going to be. I don't know how many
Travis
people there's going to
emceeing
be.
I
So
would
we'll
love to.
see. We'll see.
I'm going to think it's a 5-minute little thing.
5 minutes. It's got to be
Probably,
5.
probably
'Cause
5 to 7.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
can't be 10. You'd be there all night.
Yeah, I think
Do you have a
10's too
question you want her to ask her date?
Why are you doing this?
Oh my gosh!
It's fair.
To
By the
meet
way,
people.
somebody else kind of leaned into something like that. One of the Twitter questions.
I think you want
One
to
of my
get a little
least
more
favorite
creative.
questions is like, what brings you to Hinge? What brings you to this? It doesn't ever go in a place
Isn't the
that's
answer
fun.
always so I can meet people? I mean,
Exactly.
it's
It's
just,
like, what else
there's
is this
nothing there.
situation going to be?
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
know.
trying to meet somebody.
Yeah. So I have some good suggestions on Twitter and stuff, and I've been reading them throughout the day. But if you have any more, please send them in because I want to figure out in the dump. I'm going to reveal the question that I'm going to ask the people that I meet tonight, and I'll tell you guys how it goes.
Are you going to go have your lunch?
When Slee gets off the air.
Were you a WWF guy?
Yeah.
WWE?
For like 2 years.
Okay.
Like 92 through 95. Actually, 3 years. 95.
Those are solid
I was the
years.
Bret the Hitman card. I had the outfit. I had the sunglasses and the belt, and I would go
was a
around.
man.
And he's the excellence in execution. It's like me.
So you know like the phrases and stuff.
Well, of like Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, like
So yeah, you're okay.
and I remember like early on into like mid 92 being at the market with my mother and wanting the WWF magazine because they had like a magazine and my mother really was like, I wasn't allowed to watch G.I. Joe and stuff. Little did she know that those weren't the issues that were going to be coming up in life. But nevertheless, I remember like begging her and like she wouldn't buy it for me because it was too violent. And then my dad got me into it. And
he would sneak you wrestling mags on the side.
Then, yeah, just like he snuck me to casino. And then that was a tough dinner when I accidentally said that Dad and I went to casino today.
Oh, to see the movie?
She found out.
Yeah, that was a quiet dinner. She wasn't happy about that one.
That's always a fun moment when Mom and Dad are at each other and you're sitting there like.
And
this is not
Dad's
gonna be
doing
great.
stuff that Mom doesn't even know for her son.
Yeah.
Or for her son.
It's not the best. You want to participate in the draft?
No.
Okay, good.
Then we had to add things to the graphic. And
Yeah.
like, that's why we don't do 4 things.
This is what Clinton got. So there's too many things on the.
What's the draft today?
Wrestlers.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Do you want me to draft your team?
Greatest wrestlers of all time. Well, you
You had a
said one
moment where
already.
you watched,
that's
right?
That's a
you
good one.
you were a wrestling fan.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah.
Murder, She Wrote, and then directly to.
Did you like the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase?
No, there's too many other good ones.
Mr. Ass. Remember Mr. Ass?
Whoa.
Oh, it's a wrestling name.
Whoa.
I don't know him, but I'd like to learn about
the
him.
midday.
You just drafted number
Yeah.
one.
That's
He used to
kind
wear
of
like bright green shorts. Yeah.
I didn't know that was a guy, but now I do, and now I have to
You
consider
can pick
for
him.
my guy. Do we have the order yet, Em?
Rap.
Yep.
We do. Am I picking
Yep.
first?
You are not.
Okay.
I will
Well,
reveal
we'll
the next
figure out
segment.
who is. Our wrestler draft coming up next is Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for
it's the big show.
All right, it's time for our draft of the week, and we are drafting wrestlers because of the recent news about the merger between UFC and WWE. And we know a bunch of people are wrestling fans, brings back nostalgia and everything, so it's great. We're going to do 12 picks total, 3 picks each, because that's all that can fit in the graphic, right, Parker? And then the order is Alan, Jorge, Travis, me, back up, and then back down. So, Al?
I am not excited to have the number 1 pick.
No?
No, I think this is the one.
You wanted 1 or 4.
This is the one where you wanted 4th. So you can just get to the circle of getting a couple of guys.
Can you do it like the NBA? Can you trade it for a future first?
Well, listen.
Move down to 4th and for a future
Okay,
first?
this is a tough one because we have our specific era, but I got to go with the GOAT, the guy that everybody thinks of when you think of WWF, WWE, all that. Hulk Hogan is the face of wrestling. I don't know how else to explain it. I don't know if he was my favorite, but damn, was he on that list. He's the one that everybody associates wrestling with. Hulk Hogan, my number 1 pick.
All right, Jorge, your number 2.
Michael's going to love me for this one. I'm going to take Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
He's like my guy, man. 316, Stone Cold.
Okay, my pick, Em?
Yes,
he still
Travis.
does that. By the way, when you come in tomorrow, have 2 beers, crack them open like that, and get the show started. We know this. Is that odd that we know all this?
Is the song that Michael plays when he comes in with the breaking glass, that's Stone
Cold?
Cold?
Yes,
Okay.
that's Stone Cold.
With that question, you can probably have a pretty good grasp on how little I know about this.
Yeah.
But I'm doing kind of what Slee just said. Like, Hulk Hogan was going to be the one I picked for all the reasons that you said.
Yeah.
Unless I had the first pick, and I still get my first pick because I know this guy. I think that a casual, not even a non-wrestling fan knows this person, and somebody that I'm fascinated with because of the urban legends surrounding his existence. I'm going to take Andre the Giant. That Andre the Giant was not only 7 feet tall or whatever he is, but you see those pictures where he's holding a beer can and it looks like a toy in his hand, that he would drink 10 bottles of wine at
He's
dinner.
in the Princess Bride.
And he's in the Princess Bride.
That's right.
He would drink 10 bottles of wine at dinner and be sober. Like, that's amazing to
Go
me.
off, King.
I've heard stories where they go on a podcast, somebody goes on and they just focus on him for like 10 minutes.
Yes.
And they're telling the stories you're saying where he's taking down 50 beers or whatever the number is. Insane.
Andre the Giant for me.
Okay, so I'm going to, again, I don't think I've ever watched WWE, again, but I know these wrestlers, I understand these names, so I'm going to go with people that I understand, my zeitgeist, the people that I recognize, and the people I've heard. So I'm going to go with my pick is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? So that's what I know. All right? So I got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
By the way, those 4 right there, it didn't matter if you had the first pick or the 4th pick. Like, those are, anyone will make a case for them.
What The Rock is cooking.
Right, it sounded exactly like him. All right, so that's my first pick in the draft. And so then the next one I'm going to take in the draft is I'm going to take The Undertaker, only because I think
this might be done.
His entrance is the coolest of all time. Again, and I have seen on TV this happen where he enters and he's back from the dead.
Yeah.
That's cool. So Undertaker's my second pick.
Oh, back to me? Okay.
It's Travis.
She's in good shape over there.
I'm going to need a little help with this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know who The Undertaker is. Sorry.
You know who The
it sounds. I know the that. I've heard that.
He comes back from the dead. That's the whole thing. Is that he's dead, then he comes back and he's
All
like,
right.
oh,
I believe you. Like I said, you guys know that I like to tell you when you're wrong. I don't know this. So here's my guy.
Okay.
I think is Randy Macho Man Savage, the guy that did the Slim Jim commercials.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I want him.
Yep.
Because he did the Slim Jim.
Yeah, and
commercials.
he's also an absolute legend.
Yeah.
And he was a Spider-Man. He was in Spider-Man.
I
Remember
want
Spider-Man?
to step into a Slim Jim.
Yep.
I want that guy.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And he was
Kool-Aid
always
Man.
seemed like his head was about to explode. Yeah, I'm going to strap into a Slim Jim.
I love how you ended up tying and finding food associated with yours. That's a good one.
I got a lane, Slee.
That's yours.
I got a lane.
Yep. All right, Jorge, it is you, brother.
Yeah, so the Undertaker's taken, so I'm going to go with one of my guys. I'm going to go with Eddie Guerrero. I gotta put one of my guys in there, so Eddie Guerrero, I'm sticking with that guy.
all right, Al, we got 2.
Woo! All right, I get 2 here. Okay, I think I got what I needed. I'm going with Bret the Hitman Hart with my second pick. And I'm going with Ric Flair with my third pick. Those are my top 3. Give me all 3 of those. All those legends. I could have picked some other guys, but I'm going to go with
You got to give us a
those 2.
woo, though.
Wait, he does it like this, too. Woo! Something like that. Something like that.
That's pretty good.
That was all right.
Pretty good.
That was okay.
All right, Jorge, your last pick.
And then my last pick, I'm going to go with The Undertaker's brother, Kane. Kane was my dude. Kane, I wanted to get the mask so bad. My mom was like, "You're out of your mind. I'm not buying you the mask."
If he doesn't know Undertaker, imagine how much he doesn't know Kane.
I
Kane, you would have to know
Michael's
what the hell
calling
is
me.
going
Hey,
on.
Michael, how you doing?
I just took Ric Flair.
They just chose.
You're on air, Michael.
They just chose Ric Flair.
What are you talking about?
I've never heard Michael more passionate about something.
Well, I think he'll be in today.
We'll call you. We'll call you in the next segment, Michael.
Maybe he'll come in earlier because he's so mad at all of us. All right, Travis, your last pick.
So I'm going to go with somebody that is from my era. I don't know if these guys were good wrestlers, bad wrestlers, or what. I just remember that they existed.
Yeah.
And I like this guy's costume. I like that he had a gimmick that he would climb up to the top of the ropes and jump off onto the guy. I want Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
All right.
He was the guy. He'd kind of do that eagle pose when he'd get up there, and he would jump off and land on guys. So give me Superfly.
All right,
and he's got a cool nickname, Superfly.
He is Superfly. He's Superfly.
Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Okay, so my last pick is, again, someone that I know, someone that is in movies that I like to watch. He was in Trainwreck. I think he's really good. Again, I know his name, so I'm going to do John Cena as my last pick. All right, so I have 3 people that I understand the name of, so...
That's kind of where I'm like, I got 3. I know everybody on this list except
you
for
can't see me.
Eddie
Hey, can you do that on camera, though? Okay, we got to get it. Come on, Em. Just go like this. Just go
4
like
fingers?
That. Yeah, 4 fingers.
Okay, I'll do that.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, could I, Jorge, we're the only ones basically talking to each other on this. Ultimate Warrior didn't go.
Ultimate
I feel
Warrior
bad.
should have gone.
I feel
Yeah,
bad.
it should
Jake
have.
the
Totally.
Snake didn't go.
What about
Razor
Bob?
Ramon
What about
didn't
Bob
go.
You left him out.
George the Animal
Damn.
Steel. Where he was like, he wore that onesie.
Mankind.
Mick Foley.
Exactly. That's the same guy. Mankind. Goldberg.
Emily?
Andrew Smith.
Ray Mysterio. Oh.
Who?
Yeah,
Ray
Rick
Mysterio.
Mysterio?
That's the guy at the
Is that LZ's alter ego?
Probably. I guess that's what we got him
That's
for.
Ray Mysterio, right?
By the way, you know,
Mysterio.
this is, we'll have, now, Kurt Angle was just
Kurt
on.
Angle. Yeah.
Isn't he a real wrestler?
Yes, he's a Olympian.
True.
What I should have done is I should have just drafted college wrestlers and just looked up college wrestlers from like Michigan
guy from
or
Iowa.
Could you have drafted Thunderlips from Rocky 3, who was played by
Yes.
Hulk Hogan? Is Thunderlips a different one, or is that Hulk
What about
Hogan?
Nacho Libre?
Jack
Black and Nacho
Yeah.
Libre. I don't know what
But M for not knowing, you got a really
good roster.
popular
Let's go.
list.
What is it again? This?
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't see
Like,
me.
Shawn
She's
Michaels.
asking you
We didn't
that.
put Shawn
Oh my
Michaels. Dude,
God.
come on.
Oh man, we screwed up.
We did.
Shawn, I forgot
I think
about
you guys were two in your
Michaels,
heads.
Bret Hart. Dude.
Shawn
No,
Michaels.
Bret Hart I took.
Oh, you
Does
took
Shawn
Bret Hart.
Michaels have a nickname?
Nah, it's just he's the long-haired guy with the boots and
Yeah.
You got to have a nickname.
Triple H, another, but I don't
Triple
think
H.
people
Yeah,
put him in
Triple
there.
H.
Yeah.
He did the thing with the water. He would spit out
Yeah,
mist.
that's right.
Yeah.
Who's the jabroni?
The Rock?
The Rock.
The Rock
Yeah.
is the one. What about the
Shawn
Iron
Michaels.
We
Sheik?
didn't take Shawn Michaels, man.
Somebody should have taken the
Oh.
Iron Sheik.
Hey, Chris is saying that Shawn Michaels is a heartbreak kid. So,
Oh,
there you
okay.
go.
See, you should have been in the draft.
We should have told him.
You
We didn't have
see, if
room.
you've been here, you could have been in and weighed in on this
We
stuff.
didn't have room. The social component.
Oh my goodness, you're gutless.
Jeez.
What did he throw? I didn't even know what
I
that
don't
was.
even know what
It
that
was his party hat.
Party
from
hat.
his birthday left
Now we're
over.
throwing
That
things
was
at
like
me.
a direct shot, too.
All right. That's
All
fine.
right, so I
I'm
have
going to take the rest of the day off.
I have some more questions for my speed dating. So again, if you haven't been here throughout the show today, I'm going to go speed dating tonight, and I'm going to use one of the questions
Jorge,
in my.
she should walk in.
I sit down. Yeah, come in with the you can't see me. So one of the questions is from Quinn Royston, and he says, "What wouldn't you usually admit to on a first date? Like, what's something you usually don't say on a first date that you're comfortable
I
saying?"
love you.
Oh my god.
Right?
Yeah, that's something you don't usually admit.
That's on the list.
Yeah, and then also another one he asked is, what shouldn't I know about you? Which again,
You're not going
feels
to answer
like
that honestly, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
All these things are like you want to get to the honesty part of it.
How
I cheated on my taxes 8 years in a row.
How deep, like speed dating, you're not going to get to like
Can't
the
go
thing
deep.
you're. Is it the 10th date, the 15th date, where you kind of are at your most true self? Like, how long are you putting up your best front before you're just, hey, this is who I am, take it or leave it?
Probably like, I don't know, 2 months.
Yeah.
Of dating.
Yeah.
But I think it depends on the person and depends on the connection. I think and the trust level.
I think it's funny when you guys were talking about, you said on first dates, like, right, chemistry. There have been a lot of first dates I went on where I'm like, hey, I think there's something here. And then,
thing back.
Like,
2 weeks goes, 3 weeks go by. I'm like, yeah, that ain't, we're done with that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wonder if it works the other way. Like you think, this person kind of, it's not for me. And then you just, whatever.
grow on you.
Over time.
And then you kind of learn to.
They wore me down.
You don't want to get worn down, but the more
That's how
I
you
know about
describe
this
them.
person, the more intrigued I am. But that initial moment was not there.
I think there's a line from Parks and Recreation, and it was like the best 4 words ever is, you wore me down.
See, when I met Brenda, like we met at a bar, like Acapulco and Downey. For those of you that want to know exactly what bar, Acapulco and Downey. That's where we used to get down on Mondays, Margarita Mondays. So a cousin of mine was celebrating her birthday, and she invites me, and I was iffy about going. I show up, and she's like, "Here, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine." We go to the back of the bar. There's the dance floor out there. And then she pulls up Brenda. She's like, "Hey, this is my cousin, George, whatever." And then Brenda's like, "Oh, hey, how old are you?" I'm like, "Girl, old enough to get a drink. What do you want?" And we after that, we
Smooth.
just hit it off.
Even as a younger man,
that's
very
it, man.
smooth.
Like, hey, enough
Not
to get you a
surprised.
drink.
But also about our draft, if there's anyone we missed, if there's anyone that
Sounds
we should
like
have
we
put on
missed
the
a
list.
lot.
Yeah.
They're gonna
Call
kill
us,
us
tweet at
for-
us.
Yeah.
Basically, if you are angry at this, be angry at Al and at Jorge because they're the ones that are most invested
Completely
in this.
fair.
To get a call in the
Emily
middle-
and I are like the Slim Jim guy, and how many fingers does John Cena wave?
Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Michael was angry at
You
us
could
too.
be making that up as far as
When
I
you
know.
get a phone call in the middle of the segment from Michael Thompson,
Yeah.
we screwed up.
We took him. I had to take Hulk with the first
Look,
one.
Mike Trout didn't go first overall. He
What am I
lasted
supposed to
till
do?
the
Not take
22nd
Hulk
pick on
with the
board.
first one?
I don't know. This is your guys. This is the stuff that you guys
I don't know.
do.
All these Bleacher Report articles had Stone Cold as the
As
very
number
first one off
one.
the list. I
I
don't
know,
know.
I
Is
saw that.
No, you took Hulk.
Yeah, I took Hulk.
I took Stone Cold. Yeah.
It's a good draft. It's a good draft. Bobby Miller, game 1 of the postseason. That's next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
You jabronis hit the jackpot.
This is the Rams Report, presented by ZipRecruiter. Here's Travis Rogers.
A ton of very positive indicators after the first 2 weeks of the NFL season for the Los Angeles Rams, including a vastly improved offensive line featuring an incredibly impressive rookie, TCU's Steve Avila, who looks like a 10-year veteran after just a couple of games, a secondary that had a lot of questions standing up surprisingly well despite being very, very green coming into the year, and Brett Maher, who was available at the end of training camp, comes in and has not missed a kick yet for the Rams. But no bigger surprise than 5th-round draft pick Puka Nacua, who set an NFL record with 25 receptions in his first 2 NFL games, including 20 targets on Sunday for 15 catches and 147 yards. What is Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp? What is that combination going to look like in a few weeks when Kupp comes off of the IR? Can't wait to see it. With Wednesday's Rams Report, I'm Travis Rogers.
That's today's Rams Report, presented by ZipRecruiter.
Did you know it can now take up to 11 weeks on average to hire for an open position? Look, if you're hiring for a growing business, stop waiting and start using ZipRecruiter. 3.8 million businesses have come to ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs, and so should you. Right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/LA. That's ZipRecruiter.com/LA. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
If you're hurt in an accident and results matter to you, call the attorneys at Sweet James.
So this is just in from Adam Schefter. This is quarterback news in the NFL. So Adam Schefter tweets out that Panthers said that Bryce Young, as the quarterback for the Panthers, is not expected to play Sunday in Seattle. It's going to be Andy Dalton likely to be the starter for the Panthers.
Did you watch any of the that Monday night game, the Carolina-New Orleans game?
I was watching more of the
Steelers-Browns?
Yeah, Steelers-Browns.
It was shocking to me how small he is. It was really
it's an
something
ankle
else
issue
to
too.
see. I get that there
looks
have
one
been,
way in college.
There have been a
completely
handful
different
of small players or smaller players like Drew Brees, Russell Wilson. These
Doug
guys
Flutie. Go
but the
back
fact
in the
that you
day.
can name two
Yeah.
or three of them,
Yeah.
and that everyone else is 6'4" or 5", and as wide as a house, and there's a reason that these 5'10" guys don't really work very often. And seeing him out there surrounded by NFL guys, that was just. It's 2 games. I don't want to go too far down the
But
hole.
the concern that it's
Dude,
a
it was
fair concern.
jarring how little he was. Like when you see Jared Goff back there, and you're like, okay, at the beginning, it's like that doesn't look very good at all. But it doesn't. You're not worried about him getting killed. You're not worried about him getting broken in half because he gets tackled. That Young is tiny, 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 tiny. Let's see who we forgot. Let's try Matthew in Los Angeles. Matthew, you're on with Travis Lee. What's up?
Gentlemen and lady, it's an honor. Sliwa and Jorge. These are 2 tag team guys, but I got the Hardy Boys, and I also got the Dudley Boys. Those guys are infamous for ladder matches and table matches.
Sure that.
Incredible duos.
Yeah, it's funny. I now that
Why didn't you address us? Me and Travis. Come on. We're WWE experts.
I apologize.
Well, you guys started off by saying if you're mad at anyone, just be mad at Alan.
I don't know why you just decided to loop us back into that. That's on you. You can participate if you want, but go ahead, Matthew. You can scream at Emily, but I'm out of this one. Thank you.
Thank you. I would say, Emily, if you come back through Trader Joe's, I'm going to double charge you for everything you buy.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Matthew.
Should have took. We got. Thank you, man. Yeah, we left some good ones.
You want to hear a fun story? So when I was growing up, there was they would buy me wrestling like action figures, like little monitos, like little wrestling figures.
Did you ever get like the actual doll
They
that
all
you can wrestle?
No, never, because they were just made out of plastic, cheap plastic, cheap dolls, right? They all had the same shape. They were like this, like they painted with a blue mask,
Like in the same pose?
Exactly, same pose. That pose became a thing because when they there was a photographer who went backstage and those guys weren't wearing their mask. Like it was like untied or whatever, and then like he was knocking on the door. They opened, somebody opens the door, and the photographer takes the pictures, and they're like, no, like the pose of don't take the picture, kind of rushing at him, and that became the wrestling pose for those little action figures.
I love that.
Yeah,
that's great.
It was a mistake. Yeah,
I like those little things, like Dusty Baker and Glenn Burke creating the high five one day on the on deck circle. Just that happens. And now the don't take a picture of me is the classic wrestling pose. I always thought it's because like that's the position right before you.
That's what I thought too.
Guy.
That's what I thought too.
Right?
Yeah. But no, a buddy of mine says no. It's because El Santo didn't want his picture taken and blew them on. Yeah.
Do the luchador guys are their identities completely hidden, or
they are? Especially the El Santo. It's been generations, and you don't know who they are or what they are. I actually got I got to meet them actually at a TV show I used to work at. They came over, and then before, like I was doing backstage camera and stuff, so I was in the dressing room with them doing like behind the scenes stuff. So it was cool.
Another interesting thing, again, if you're interested in like luchadors and stuff, there's a movie called Cassandra that's out. It's about lucha libre, and it's about it's wrestling, but it's also about a certain character, and he doesn't wear his mask, and so it's all about that stuff too, which is
what is a genre of movie for you, Em, that you're like not interested? Like just on its surface, like I don't need to see that, because you've talked about all these different documentaries, wrestling movies, like your palette is so eclectic. Is there something just like I don't need to see that?
I think it has to do with the story, with the trailer, and how it's being reviewed. I'll be open for any type of story if it's being reviewed well, and if the trailer looks good. I am skeptical. I honestly don't really love Wes Anderson films, and so I tend to not watch them because I've watched a handful and I haven't liked them. So if there's a new one, I'm not going to go watch it. And honestly, I'm sorry, guys. I'm same for Tarantino. I don't really go out and watch Tarantino.
You've always felt that way,
which is
him.
okay, and that's fine. Other people don't like him, but it's more director based than topic based.
She sees everything. Well, there's the runner up in the documentary Oscar.
There's a picture. They're like, no, don't take it.
Yeah, that's great. I like that.
That's the pose.
All right, so Bobby Miller pitched for the Dodgers last night. He pitched okay. He only gave up a couple of runs, but the Tigers are not very good.
Outman saved him.
And there were a bunch of balls that were barreled up pretty good that went at guys. But, all in all, good enough, I guess. He got the loss, but whatever. Joe Davis said something during the game that just kind of landed. Intellectually you knew it, but when you heard it out loud from someone else, it felt a little different, which is the next time he pitches in Dodger Stadium might be game 1 of the National League Division Series. That they're going to go on the road, and the way that the rotation's set up, he might not pitch at Dodger Stadium, he'll pitch on the road. And not that they have better options, not that instead of that, let's throw a fully healthy Walker Buehler. They don't have option B that is far more attractive. But Bobby Miller is the game 1 pitcher. It's probably your best guy right now, but he is very inexperienced. He's pretty chill guy. Do you go with the best arm, the healthiest arm, or do you go with Kershaw, who obviously is not the best version of Clayton Kershaw, but he's not going to freak out. You know that he's going to give you whatever he has, that's what you're going to get.
So come on, Crenshaw. I think that question in itself just shows you the position that the Dodgers are in.
Yeah.
This is why John will say, go look at the Dodgers and the Braves and say, well, it just wasn't our year, because you go see who's on the pitching staff for the other side. So I'm going to answer your question about the Kershaw or Bobby Miller, but I think that's the thing that will continue to loom, which, let me say, they're still playing good baseball.
They're on a pace to win 100 games.
They still do things that winning teams do. How much of that is going to change come postseason? Just take your question and think about that for a second. The options that you have to start a series at Dodger Stadium against, you pick the opponent. And I'm not even talking about...
I don't even think it really matters.
And I'm not even talking about go to the Braves series. No, it doesn't matter. You still got other teams that were good enough to make the playoffs.
And win around. By the time they get to the Dodgers, they're going to have won around.
Little momentum. Feel good about themselves.
Yeah.
That, by the way, that was exactly how the Padres were last year when they got to face the Dodgers. That question in itself is a little bit of... It leaves something that is not typically there for the Dodgers, which is... Are you playing with house money this year? You kind of are. I don't know what to tell you. You kind of are if you are the Dodgers because of that question that you just proposed. Is Kershaw going to give you if I told you Kershaw pitches game 1, he's going to give you 4 innings, you taking it?
Yes.
Kershaw, 4 innings, you're taking it.
I'm not taking it because of his lifelong body of work.
No.
I'm taking it because of where he is right now. Yeah.
Okay. I would still go with Clayton Kershaw in a game 1 game. I think there's something about the familiarity of him being out there. I think there's something about Bobby Miller's got great stuff. Awesome. Let's throw him in game 2. I would still go Kershaw, but I'm also understanding that I'm probably going to use multiple pitchers. Bobby Miller's had a tendency, I know it's the regular season, to go about 6 innings, so you're going to use less of your bullpen. But you're actually playing. You're going to have so much rest that I don't think that part's going to come into play.
You're going to get to do it based on what you choose to do. Just like I like player X. I like Bobby Miller in this spot because he's my best guy. I like Clayton Kershaw in this spot because he's my most experienced guy. Or you could play it with Bobby Miller is going to be able to pitch against this team more effectively because of the guys they have in their lineup. Or Kershaw, this team's, left-handed heavy, so let's go throw a left-hander there. That there's a whole bunch of matchup things that could happen along the way. But that this is what it is, as opposed to, hey, just throw Buehler, Urias, Kershaw, Scherzer. I know at one point you're thinking Bauer. Just throw them out there in any order. It doesn't matter. We got a great chance to win. This is every inning you're on high alert. Every hit you're on high alert. And you can't just burn through it and hey, okay, we're on a second they're in trouble, you get them out. You can do it once that way. This is a series.
Sure.
And the first series is a little favorable because there's a bunch of off days built into that first series. But if you're lucky enough to get to the NLCS, you're basically playing every day. Or, there's an off day here and there, but it's not
travel.
You can't really set it up that you can't just say, all right, Lance Lynn gives up a hit, he's out. Okay, what if he gives up a hit what if he gives up a double in the first inning? You gonna go get him? Of course not.
Mm-hmm.
What if he gives up another double in the second inning? You gonna go get him? Of course not. That there are no good options, so you have to ride the bad option a little bit longer than you might want to.
When you were setting up the question, that's what stuck to me. It was
that there aren't good options.
that these are the scenarios.
I think
right?
if you're optimistic, if you're trying to be optimistic about it, these aren't bad options. They're completely unknown options. It's literally what's behind door number 2. That with Kershaw, you know what it is.
You've always had answers for the Dodgers. This is one of the postseasons you're walking into, and you're like, I got no idea what to expect.
What's up, Clinton?
What's up, Yates?
We sure we know what's behind
I don't
door
think his
number
mic
one?
is on.
We sure we know what's behind door number 1 with
No,
Kershaw?
we don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
No.
I don't think we know the mystery doors element. It's like when you go into
It's
the halls
all-
here.
it's all mystery
By the way,
doors.
for those of you who don't know, when you go into the halls here, you leave the studio and you go to the bathroom, there's like 4 mystery doors on the way.
I know
there
what
could
one of
be
them
anything
is.
behind them.
You know the one on the right?
Yes.
Yeah, the one on the right.
It's like a
is where-
janitor's closet.
Yeah.
Sure. We know what
Yeah.
one of them is, but we don't know what's
I
coming
got
out.
another one. I know the other one.
We have no idea what's coming out of any of those doors at any
Okay,
given
look,
time.
Yates.
That's the Dodgers starting rotation.
Yates, you walk
mystery
out.
doors galore.
You walk out the door.
Galore.
Right to your right. That first door to your right. Do you know what that is?
I dare not.
Do you know what that
I
is?
That's the
dare
back of the
not
Conga
know.
room, isn't
Back
it?
of the Congo room.
That's the opener. Oh, yeah, that's the opener.
You ever want to go to the Congo room, stick around with me post-game show till 11:30 at night on a Friday. A little loud back
What
there.
does that mean?
It's
I'm not
super
going to the
loud.
Congo room. I'm just saying that they're coming in and out of there.
Please don't take me to the Congo
They're coming in and out of there.
I said when I was doing the Lakers, and I same idea. You come out of there and you just hear, poof, 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 you hear the muffled
And Trav would be
sounds,
dancing
and
outside the door.
whatever's on the other side of that
Did you
door.
see that? Did you see that move?
Oh yeah.
Was that a car dance move?
He's
or
got
was
the
that
sprinkler.
A real...
Hey, the sprinkler.
Oh, there he goes.
Yeah.
I'm told you guys are making picks the next segment, so I can't hijack that. But can I make picks with you?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Sure, yeah, if you want to make picks for that, for
Maybe?
sure.
Just maybe.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, stick around. We're good. I have a strategy this week. I don't know if it's going to work.
Is it the Congo room?
I have a real strategy for our picks this week.
The NFL picks coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. 4.
And all 6 of mine were last week.
All 6 of you. Yeah, well, look, we've all had a 0. We've all had a 10. And if you can grab a 6 and 5s, you're doing pretty good.
And Yates, you'll be in the guest picker category. And the guest picker so far has only scored 3.
Sure. I know nothing about gambling, but I do like running violins in NFL music. So we'll just
By the one point, I want to point out one thing with my score. I only got 1 of those points because AK got me 3, so my total of 4.
Oh, I heard
AK
about
is
that. Yeah, you had an
in the lead.
absentee, a ghost picker, if you will.
Yeah.
You got 1. Take the 3.
So am I the ghost picker or am I the guest picker? I'm the guest picker, not the ghost picker.
You are the guest picker for this week, and you're having your own category, and I'll calculate it with an average at the end of the season.
Sure, even better.
Okay.
All right, you ready? All right,
Ready.
so Emily, you're batting lead off this time. Okay. The Rams are on the road Monday Night Football against the Cincinnati Bengals, and this line seems way off to me.
It was this morning, so it's non-adjusted for all this Joe Burrow news.
Gotcha, but this is the line we're going to play with,
Yes.
so it's fair for everybody. We all got it. Cincinnati is a 5.5-point favorite at home. Emily.
Right. So, okay. Bengals are a team that's against the ropes. Again, JB mentioned this yesterday. You don't want to play someone who has nothing to lose, who's back against the wall and is just going to punch everything at you. So I think that's what the Bengals are today. They cannot start their season 0-3. That's like just not something they can do with how much they pay Joe Burrow and what they have on that team, the talent they have on that team. That being said, I am taking the Rams to cover at least, if not outright win, and Rams at my 3.
All right, Rams at the 3. Jorge, you're next.
Just taking the Rams at my 3, and that's it. I don't want to say anything about the Rams. Rams are my 3.
Oh, boo. Who cares?
All right, so I'm
Poncho
next.
alert.
I am nothing if not superstitious. My inner baseball player comes out in moments like these. If something's working, I'm not changing it up. I want to put them higher, but at the fear of aggravating the gambling gods, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take the Rams. I'm 2 for 2 with the Rams in the number 2 spot, so I'm going to put them right back there again.
Interesting.
Guys, I want you guys to know I'm currently using my picks moving forward for the next 3 weeks to see if this strategy, we need some more research on this. I'm going to go opposite you this entire way this week. Okay.
So Cincinnati, what's the opposite of 2?
I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it at the 2. I'm gonna keep it at the 2. Cincinnati 2. Either I'm gaining 2 on this one,
4-point
or
game
I'm losing.
for you and
it's
me.
a 4-point game, and they all went the other way. I go Cincy. I don't think the Rams cover.
Big CY.
Highest confidence, Rams cover, Rams win this game.
All right.
End of
LA,
story. Cincy is going to be
all
Cincy,
the way.
falling apart.
You're getting arguably the healthier team that might be the better team, and you're getting nearly a touchdown.
Cincy got lucky when they went to the Super Bowl. It was a great season.
By the way, Rams. Win the freaking game.
They need to
just
They're
win
going to
the
win
game.
that game.
All right,
Just
Jorge,
win the
you're
game.
first on this next one here. It is the 0-2 teams.
Yeah, 0-2 teams.
Minnesota at home against the Los Angeles Chargers, and it is a pick 'em. There is no spread here. You just got to pick the winner. What do you got?
I'm taking the Vikings just because Brandon and I started watching the quarterback, and she likes
Good
Kirk
enough.
Cousins, and we're rooting for the
Likes
Vikings
Coles.
because the Chargers just can't win a game, man. So I'm taking the Vikings.
Where are you taking them?
Oh, as my 1.
As number 1.
Yes.
My turn here. Chargers, I've missed both weeks.
Okay.
I've missed them big both weeks.
I went with you last week.
I had them at the top both times, both weeks. So
Sucks to suck.
I've punted on my 4-point game. Jeez, I'm taking some today. I'm going to take them again, but I'm going to put them at the bottom. I'm going to take San Diego, LA at 1.
1? Okay. This is the furthest I know I could do on your 4. Do I do it now or do I do
four.
it
You're
later?
you're already recalculating.
Do I do
the
it?
position.
It's also against the Chargers.
But Em, is it 4?
Yeah, you have to do 4. And do the opposite.
4 Vikings, taking the Vikings in this one.
All right. Emily.
That's going to make me so interested in this game.
Well, it's against
Little
your
juice?
guys, so it's
Little
always
juice?
good too.
Definitely some juice there.
All right, so I'm going to go opposite of Allen, and I don't know, opposite. I'm going to take the Chargers at my 4 because I think that the Chargers are going to win. The Vikings are in a free fall. I think that the Chargers will have to right the ship, and I think they will.
Yates.
The only person I would pick against more than anybody related to the Bolts is Kirk Cousins. I'm taking the Bolts with whatever. What are the points?
You got 3, 2, and 1 left.
By the way, I'm either 80
number three, my second highest confidence, if you will.
Yep.
I'll take the Bolts, whatever it is.
Because of the Kirk Cousins factor.
Because of the Kirk Cousins factor in whatever primetime is, and as somebody that was just in Boulder, primetime's on my mind.
All right, I got the first pick in this next one. Yep. It is Emily's Steelers on the road in Las Vegas.
Guys go Steelers.
Steelers against the Raiders. The Raiders are 2.5-point favorites. through the first 2 weeks of the season, neither one of these teams looks very good.
Nope.
Neither one of these teams looks like they're going to be a factor at the end, but they're both 1-1. They got weird records considering what it's looked like. The Raiders, if I pick them, they're going to win. If I pick against them, they're going to lose. I'm going to take the Steelers, and I'm going to put it at my 3 for no other reason than I want the points.
Those are pretty good, the Raiders, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got Steelers with your 3?
Steelers with my 3.
Raiders with my 3. Raiders with my 3 right there.
M.
All right, so obviously we know I'm picking the Steelers, but I'm picking at my 2 because I think, again, this Steelers team is Iowa football. They can't score on offense, and they weren't even in the red zone last week on Monday. So I'm going to do Steelers at my 2. I hope that TJ Watt scores 4 touchdowns on
He might need to.
And he might.
He might need to. Yeah, and I guess it's a possibility. Jorge.
All right, so they're back in Vegas, the Raiders, so I'm going to take the Raiders at my 2.
All right, I messed up
sir.
my grid, so I need to fix this really quick.
I'll go Raiders, lowest confidence because they're at home. They got to get one.
Yeah.
They got to get one.
Okay.
Can't happen.
I'm not sure they're trying to get one.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Like they got to get a couple.
I can't wait
They're
until
going to win.
GBG's
They're
first
going to
couple.
win just enough.
The Steelers might lose to Vegas, the city, before they lose to the Raiders, the football team.
So you've got the Raiders at 1.
Yes, lowest confidence. There's only 4 total, right? I still got a 2 left. Is that my understanding?
You have the 2 left.
Okay. My 2, I don't even know what the next game is, but the Raiders are my lowest confidence.
All
easily.
right. So, Al, you go first here,
Yeah.
so you can't go Oppo here. But
I'm going to do my best to think what you're going
there
to
you
do.
go. Giants at San Francisco tonight. It's a big number, 10.5.
I only got my 1
Niners.
left.
Yep, I have my 4 left, so it is opposite.
I think you're going to go Niners. I'm going to go Giants. I'll take Giants with my 1.
Heyo.
Okay, you're not wrong. I'll take the Niners all the way at the top. The Niners, or excuse me, the New York Giants were outscored 68-0
Zap.
through
Who cares?
the first 6 quarters. of the
68
It was last
zap.
Always love
As
the
we
Giants.
say.
That's interesting.
Okay, for all the reasons that we said before, I'm also going to go with the 49ers because it's their home opener.
That's right.
They're just so much more talented than the Giants, and I think that there's at some point talent matters, and it matters tonight.
Jorge.
Home opener, throwback jerseys are going to be worn tonight, and we're going to go with Niners at my 4.
Which throwbacks?
The
drop shadow?
Yep, drop shadows.
Bang,
Okay.
bang.
Those are like I think of those as the Steve Young ones.
I'm sorry, the Dion ones?
The Dion ones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
21. Yes,
But
sir.
there's the Joe Montana, no shadow, and then there's the
The drop shadow. I'll take, obviously, here's the thing. I'll take the Niners with the 2 slot, but this is, I don't want to say a must-win game, but like, they should beat the pants off the Giants.
Thursday night.
10.5 is it?
If they
That's a lot.
don't,
Spread.
this, again, television Clinton Yates, things I said on cameras before I got here. If they don't beat the pants off of the Giants, and Brock Purdy doesn't play probably one of the better games he's played, I'm a little concerned. This is the game as a good team you should bust people's chops on, and that's the one for the
You
Niners.
win by 17.
You
It's
have
over
to.
at the
It should
first
be a
half.
non-game.
Yeah.
If you're a good team, this should be a non-game for the Niners.
I would agree with that, except for there's one thing that throws all of that out the window. It's Thursday night. Thursday nights are
Sure.
always weird.
Sure.
They're always
No
bad.
Ayuk likely.
They're bad games, played poorly. They're sloppy. There's lots of penalties.
And
that all of that. If this were on Sunday, I'd be
Okay.
right there with you.
Okay.
Thursday night.
That's fair.
Yeah. What do you got, Em?
All right, I want to ask you a question, Yates. All right,
Yes,
so I'm going to
please.
explain this whole thing. So I am going on speed dating tonight, okay? So it's my first time doing speed dating.
Hell
I'm
yes.
super excited about it, a little nervous about it.
Yeah.
The entire show today, we have been fielding questions about what question I should ask the people that I'm talking to kind of get to the point, to get to where I want to go, and to make an impression in 5 minutes. So do you have a good question that I should ask?
Yes.
Again, not like, what do you do for work? Where are
this
you
is
at?
a lock. Ask them what their favorite fruit is.
Okay, interesting. What's your favorite fruit?
Again, this is where we go around the horn and answer these questions. Mine are the 3 Ps: peach, pear, plum. That's me.
That's 3 fruits.
Again, we could rank them. I rank them as necessary.
Fruit cart. Just think fruit cart.
Peach,
Fruit
pear,
cart.
plum. 1, 2, 3.
So
What are
can I
yours?
take citrus as my favorite fruit and get more than one
Yeah,
as well?
sure. I'll let you have it.
Favorite
fine.
NBA
And you
team.
won't date Emily because you got a
Western
non-answer. You know what I mean?
Conference.
Like, come
Yeah.
on. What's your answer, Slick?
If somebody answered the
Listen.
question, "What's your favorite?" with 3
Yeah.
things, I'd be like, "No, this didn't work."
Sure.
out.
Okay. Well, that's why we don't. That's why we're not
Watermelon.
married.
Watermelon. Watermelon.
Okay.
All day long.
Trev?
Citrus.
Are we doing 3 or are we doing 1?
Do whatever you want.
Do 4.
Well, if you do
Thank you for
3,
allowing me to do
What's in your
whatever
fruit
I want.
cart?
Thank
you do 3.
I appreciate you coming on to my show.
I need
This
grapes and
This
an
is
orange.
me trying to be Sean McVay, just showing up in somebody's
Yeah.
offense, acting like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, okay.
You know?
Anything else you'd like to tell me? how to
Nothing
do it?
at all, Travis.
All right, Travis, what is your favorite fruits?
Peach, pear, and plum.
Right back at you.
And that's the button.
Well played. Well played.
All right.
I'm going watermelon, mango, and strawberries.
Okay.
Solid, right there.
I think I'm
We've
going to
got
say
the
go with
entire
just
grocery
strawberries.
store locked down.
Hey.
Yeah, well, mine's strawberries, and
We've
that's
got
mine.
our
Okay. You give it 3, it shows that you're an optional kind of person. You know?
Or that you're non-committal.
Right.
Yeah, or that you can't make them.
Bionico.
One or the other, for
I
sure.
got
The
that.
Dump coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN.
All right, so I said the other day that I was going to reveal the questions that I'm going to ask on my speed dating, and I chose 2 because after Clinton, I can't just choose 1. I'm going to choose 2. One is going to be serious. One is going to be funny. So the serious one is going to be from Animal Fries Well Done, and it's going to be, what's the nicest thing that someone has done for you?
It's a good question.
So I think that it's going to get someone to be soft. It's going to get someone to likely talk about their family or their friends.
And they have to think about it.
Yes.
Like I would imagine you don't have a pre-packaged answer for that question.
Right.
You'd have to actually stop and say, wow, okay, I've never really and think about it.
Right. And then usually you'll answer with your own, too, just in case they don't have the time. You don't want to waste time because we only have 5 minutes. I might answer my own and go on with that. And I'll keep that private to whomever I share it with. All right, so the next one's going to be the funny one. It's also going to be from E-Money in Napa. And it's going to be, if animals could talk, which animals would be the dumbest? I think that's a pretty funny question.
That's good. What's your favorite animal, Lynn?
Horses.
What if he says horse?
I also think they could be dumb. And I also
She's like, I'm out.
Yeah, next.
And I'm not a horse. Oh, I also love buffalo too. I forgot. I panicked and I said horses. This is why speed dating is so stressful. It's because you panic and you answer something that's not yours.
Okay.
My favorite animal is a buffalo.
Then you gotta go back.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
do you circle back and say, you know what? You remember when you asked me that question
Yeah.
about the animals? I'd like to change my answer. It's buffalo.
Right, exactly. So
I
that's
think
my
you
real
can
answer.
go back, and I think they should accept their honesty and getting nervous right at the
There's a great
start of it.
scene in Seinfeld where George asks this kid's applying for a scholarship. He goes, "What's the best animal?" And the kid goes, "I don't know, frog." And he goes, "Frog is wrong." It just
That sounds like
shoots
me.
it down
I would do that.
There you go. Don't get it. Just don't get it wrong along the way. Do you have the Joe Davis sound, M, for Zach McKinstry?
Yes, we do have the sound. Jorge's going to play it.
Okay, because as I was telling you earlier, I was watching the game last night, and when Joe Davis started to say this, I thought that we were going to have a Ron Burgundy moment.
What do you mean twice? Zach said that's twice. And
Yeah.
first at bat, there was a pitch up and in as well. And Bobby told him to shut the front door. Head on down to
For
first.
half a second, I thought he was like, does he not know his mic's on? Like, he
The F
totally
was-
hooked me.
yeah,
he
the F-
totally got me.
It's like the perfect thing to do. You ever? I know we watch this John Boy, right? John Boy does.
John
on,
Boy's
on
great.
YouTube. He's lip reading everything, and you're like, how the heck are you doing it? But he's spending hours trying to figure it out. Joe Davis doing that on the spot there was.
I
was
saw
good.
Ireland's eyes go up. Did he get you too? Yeah, yeah. It was the delivery was. And it happens in a fraction of a second like
It's like
that.
you don't
That
even
was-
want to touch even anywhere close to that when you're on the mic, I guess.
Well, look, if you do what Al and I do, what
Right.
John does, what you do, and especially if I would have, and John, when you come in here, we can talk about this. In play-by-play, you're talking so fast, and you're trying to describe what you're seeing. You're trying to convey the correct emotions. You're trying to relay information at the same time, accurate information, that you're going to lapse into regular speak. And I use four-letter words when I talk frequently. John, have you ever come even close to that on the air doing play-by-play?
Not during play-by-play. One time I was doing sports at KCAL, and Tiger Woods had a 6-shot lead.
Okay, I can see where that went wrong.
And I said something other than 6-shot lead. And
I thought it was
Anchor
gonna be
looked
the
at me and
shot.
I go, yeah, I said it.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
But you got, when you heard Joe Davis there, that was
pretty close.
Yeah.
Pretty close, but he was in control the whole time.
Oh, no, he,
right?
he-
but that's
he
what was
wasn't,
so great
but
about
he
it.
let us
Yeah.
think that he was. What's that, Jorge?
What do you mean twice? Zach said that's twice. And
Yeah.
first at bat, there was a pitch up and in as well. And Bobby told him to shut the front door.
There is a
So
little
casual.
emphasis on the F there
So
that
casual, too.
really sells it. It was today, September 21st in 1970, that the first ever Monday Night Football game was broadcast. That the Jets and the Browns beat Joe Namath and the Jets 31-21 in the first ever Monday Night Football. That's one of those things that has become so ubiquitous, such a regular part of the American experience, Monday Night Football. To think that there was a time that it didn't exist is weird.
They thought when Monday Night Football started, Roone Arledge was the guy who started it. Everybody thought Roone Arledge was crazy.
Right.
They said, wait a minute. People are going to watch football all day Sunday. All day. And you're putting a game on Monday night. That's insane. And no other network wanted to touch it. ABC was the third place network. He goes, we got nothing better to do. Let's try it.
Great idea, and then
Wow.
executed incredibly well because they put, not that first year, but you had Howard Cosell, you had Frank Gifford, you had like the Danny Don.
Do you know who the play-by-play guy was the first year?
Keith Jackson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then got fired because Roone Arledge loved Frank Gifford, and Frank was working for CBS, so it took him a year to get Frank. And the way Keith Jackson found out was he got to his hotel and had 10 messages from reporters asking him to comment on his firing.
That's
and
a tough
he didn't
way to
know
do
he
it.
was fired.
That's a tough way to
Yeah,
do it.
It was weird.
I know that I remember reading this one point. Vin Scully was the first person they offered it to, and he declined. That he was already busy doing all the things that Vin Scully was doing in the 1970s.
What of all the major sports is there another night that's known like that?
There isn't.
There isn't.
I mean, I know what TNT is. What they have Wednesday or
They have Tuesdays
Tuesday.
and Thursdays. I
Sunday
think.
Night Baseball.
Yeah.
Sunday Night Baseball,
But
which
it
I'm
never
with you.
quite resonated like
Right.
this did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
This
right
is
though.
by far the most recognizable. It's like, yeah, it's Monday night during the football season. It's Monday Night Football.
It's not quite what it was, where it was the game of the week. Sunday night feels like it's kind of stolen that, but it's still a very, very big deal.
There's a book called Monday Night Mayhem that came out years ago, and HBO did a movie, and it talks about it was basically a traveling road circus. Cosell and Meredith were drunk a lot, and they were the only show in town. It was the only game on. Cosell was either loved or hated by the whole country, and they had lightning in a bottle for about 20 years.
That's the other thing. It lasted for a very, very long time.
Yeah, like 1970 to 1990, and then they started to break it up.
You may know this. Has there ever been an example of, because Frank Gifford was the play-by-play man.
Yep.
And then transitioned into an analyst role when Al Michaels came into
Correct.
the booth. Do you remember a play-by-play guy going over to the analyst side in the same booth that he was in before?
You will too when I tell you. For years, there was a thing on NBC called, it was a baseball game called Game of the Week. That was Joe Garagiola on play-by-play and Tony Kubek on color. When Vin Scully became available, they brought Scully in to do play-by-play and moved Garagiola to color.
Oh,
and
okay.
he did it for many years.
I did not know he did play-by-play. I thought he was always color.
He was Garagiola and Kubek were a two-man booth for the first 10 years of the Game of the Week. Then when Vin became available, they switched him.
I want to say Pup Bob Costas was a part of that when they had the two. They kind of split the country in half.
Yeah.
Like one guy would do East, one guy would do West.
Well, that's what they do now on Fox. But, a funny thing about that, too, is we had Fred Willard come in once. And he's no longer alive, but Fred was really funny and really good. And you guys ever see the movie Best in Show?
Sure.
He's doing Garagiola doing the dog show. Garagiola was hired to do the dog show, and he didn't know anything about dogs. So he would just wing it.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
so Willard was doing basically a mockumentary of Garagiola, and he said Garagiola hated it.
Oh, really?
Well, Willard said wouldn't talk to him, but he said it was still very funny.
All right, one more here. Today, 2008, so the 21st of September, 2008, the final home game played in old Yankee Stadium. The house that Ruth built, that was the last game. They've obviously built a new one that they've been playing in since then. At some point, Dodger Stadium's going to have to be either drastically redone or go in a new spot. If you can make a new Yankee Stadium, you can make a new Dodger Stadium. Will the transition be that seamless? Because the Yankee fans seem to adapt to that relatively quick.
Have you been to Dodger Stadium this year?
Yeah.
Okay, it's basically been rebuilt already. I don't think it'll ever be at a different location.
They got a lot of time. I think they got a lot more time.
They've redone. They've done a great job of creating an environment in the outfield specifically that is far better.
The center field area.
It's terrific.
The center field area is great.
But the guts of the stadium are old.
Although, and seriously, if you walk through the concourses, one of the first things the Guggenheim people did was they widened all the concourses.
Yep.
So they did make it. They are kind of updating within the construct
much
of
better
that
than
stadium.
it was, like, say, in the 90s.
Sure.
But it's the third oldest ballpark in the majors. It is one of the iconic spots here in Los Angeles.
Right.
But there are parts of it that really do show its age. On TV, it looks great, but the bathrooms are tiny. Like all the some of the concrete work is busted off. You can see rebar.
But here's the thing,
stuff.
Trav. I think, like, for example, a number of venues here in Los Angeles are going to need to sort of retool as they move into the next few years. I mean, Staples Center's 22 years old, 23 years old, something like that. I mean, especially with the new arena that's coming in, I would imagine the AEG people are focused on how do we make this feel as
how do we get more
state of
toilets
the
here?
art. More toilets,
Right?
Exactly, toilets.
A 1 acre scoreboard. You guys see that?
Yeah, did you see that?
They're going to the scoreboard, and it's
right?
literally going to be an acre
acre?
big. An acre.
Like square?
Square.
Well, this is the answer to the question, what would you do if you could build an arena and money was no object?
Do you make this?
Yeah. So I think it's going to be pretty spectacular.
You put in a lot of toilets.
Well, just one thing on the Dodger Stadium.
I wonder if
thing.
they'll give Kawhi like a throne he can sit at because he'll be sitting out the games on the sidelines.
Right.
20
We're gonna
years.
need more than one.
20 years from today,
Yeah.
Dodger Stadium there.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't.
In the same spot, the
Yeah,
same
same
thing.
spot.
I
same
agree.
stadium.
I think.
Yeah.
I think. And
To me, it's like Wrigley Field. You're never going to replace
when Yankee
Wrigley Field.
Stadium, you said it was built in the 30s,
The 30s.
something like that.
20s, yeah.
That's 30 years older than Dodger Stadium, something along those lines. I think it's going to be around. I think it's going anywhere.
I would
anytime
love
soon.
to see them be able to build it and fix it on the fly, but at some point it's just the infrastructure of a 60, 70, 80, 90-year-old building becomes an issue.
So you want to get rid of Dodger Stadium?
That's
Travis
it.
Rogers.
I hate
Did
the
you
pitch
hear
clocks.
this?
Yeah.
Hates the pitch
Doesn't
clock.
like puppies.
Hates
Doesn't
Dodger
like
Stadium.
puppies,
Doesn't like
hates Dodger
dogs.
Stadium. It's unbelievable.
I'll take it all.
You hate old people too? Old people and dogs?
No, I am dogs.
Just dogs.
I don't hate dogs. I'm just not really.
You're
super
Don
dog-
Johnson from Tin Cup. You hate old people and dogs.
and kids.
And
Yeah.
kids.
And kids. Don't
Yeah.
leave the kids out too. Jorge, let's do a little crosstalk. Super crosstalk.
ESPN ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles.
KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk. Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
All right, so aside from what you mentioned to me, Emily is going speed dating tonight for the
Love
first
it.
time.
Nice. That is
And
awesome.
We've crowdsourced a couple of questions from the crowd. Em, tell them the questions that you're going to use that we got from the listeners.
Yes, so one is from E-Money in Napa, and he says, if animals could talk, which animal would be the dumbest?
Okay.
So that's a good way to get into it. And
Yeah.
then also from Animal Fries Well Done, what is the nicest thing someone's ever done for you?
So one
Oh, that's
serious
nice.
one and
Yeah.
one
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
goofy one, right?
Yeah.
You've done this, Mace.
I have done this. I went speed dating back when I was single, and it was interesting because I met multiple people at speed. Like
Were you on your team that you're on now, or were you on the previous
I
team?
was on my team.
Okay.
I
Got
was
it.
on the current team.
Okay.
And I ended up with numbers from 3 different guys, and we all went out, and it works like crazy. I mean, honestly, Emily, I think it's going to go well for you. I would just.
Is it awkward at all, or is it just like instant chemistry?
It's don't you know the moment you sit down with? Well, you've been single you've been married for your entire life,
long time.
from high school on, right?
Basically,
pretty much,
yes,
right?
yes.
But no, I think when you sit down with somebody, you know right away. Oh yeah, it's on or it's not on.
How long was each 5 minute? We are guessing. She doesn't know how long each date is.
Yeah.
Speed date. We guessed 5 minutes. Is it 5 minutes? Is it more?
Sounds right to me. I think it was 5 minutes. Yeah.
John, did you ever do it?
No, but Emily, have you ever seen the movie Hitch?
I have in passing, but not in a while.
Okay, so in the movie Hitch, there is a speed dating scene, and Will Smith comes in and kind of disrupts how it's supposed to go. And a woman, Jorge, you can see if you can find this, a woman stands up in the middle of it and goes, "Don't do this, Em. This is my warning to you." Stands up in the middle of it, goes, "Hey, you guys all got to get your act together because I haven't been laid in a year." And she screams it at the top of her lungs.
All right, noted.
Don't do that. Yeah,
Don't do that one.
Take that one off the board.
Yeah,
Em.
just no on that. But I think a simple question, like what are you into, is like a really good question. What are you into?
That's so open.
That's the
Is
point.
that-
It's
Emily,
so
I got one.
open.
I got one for you.
Okay, John.
You say to the person sitting across from you, "You know what looked good on you? Me."
Yeah, that's.
Don't do that one either.
Yeah, don't do that one.
I told you.
Another one
Emily-
out there.
Emily, what did I say earlier? When
Wait,
I said,
John.
Do
He
the
said
opposite of
he
everything
said in
Ireland
the
says.
10 o'clock hour,
Yeah.
he's like, "Okay, I know John's going to throw some questions at that. I don't know if you want to take them."
I specifically said, do not
Do you
take
change your
Ireland's
answer
questions.
after the last one?
Come
That
on,
was a good one.
That eliminates all the awkwardness. Come on, let's get right to it.
So, are you looking to meet somebody that you'd more interested in going on like a traditional date, or are you just looking to see what's going on?
I'm open to all possibilities.
Nice.
Good for you.
So that's what
Nice.
I'm going in, open to all possibilities.
Excellent.
What did you
Excellent.
go in with?
I went in with the objective of getting lucky.
Okay. Well,
That was
very
my-
hon-
that's
very
what I was going
honest.
for.
It's
I mean,
very
That's what
honest.
you were going for. You should have used my line.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How do you know I
He
didn't?
should use your lines.
Yeah.
How do
She
you know I
should
didn't?
not.
Yeah.
Well, you've heard Mason's joke.
It's good. Yes, I know it, but
It's my favorite joke. Tell the difference between
Okay.
lesbians and gay guys on dates.
How do you tell the difference between lesbians and gay guys on dates? The lesbians rent a U-Haul on the second date, and gay guys, what second date? Thank you. I'll be here all week.
Yeah. Thank you. Big guys have been
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
You
you've
guys
been a
have
great audience. Thank you.
I asked you guys this as I was walking out the door yesterday because I don't know how long they've been operating here in LA, but I know that they are now. Waymo,
Okay.
driverless car.
Oh yeah, Waymo. I'm all
Right?
into it. Yeah.
You were super fired up when I brought it up yesterday.
Look, I think Waymo is going to, and I haven't seen one yet. I don't know. Do they have an app?
Emily, you said you said you saw one the other day?
I've seen them around, but I
Yeah.
haven't seen them totally empty of a person driving. So there have been people that have been driving the Waymo cars, I guess, to have data of how people drive, but I have not seen a
driverless one?
driverless car.
So do they have an app?
Probably.
Yeah,
I have not.
I'd order a Whymo over an Uber right now. I'd love to try a Whymo.
I'm going to let you ride in your Waymo for a while.
Yeah,
before
I'm
get
with
into
you,
it.
Trav.
Yeah.
Oh, Em, I just thought of another question.
Oh, God.
Don't use it.
Yeah, no.
Just
You'll
ignore,
like this one.
ignore.
So Emily, would you look across the table and you say, do you want to have breakfast tomorrow? And the guy says, yeah, sure. You say, should I call you or nudge you?
You're Googling
Good one,
this.
John.
Computer open.
Written them down. Wrote them down.
Yeah. Emily, was I right?
You were right.
Ignore everything John Ireland says.
So you
trust me.
My favorite is how much he loves it.
Why aren't we cutting to the chase here?
These are, by the way,
because that's not
these
only
are like
that it's for.
These are the standard Ireland lines. This is
I don't have a lot of time to wait.
Landed Lisa
I'm
Ireland.
like ZipRecruiter. I don't want to wait for 11 and a half weeks.
How did you meet Lisa?
At a TV
Speed dating.
No, at a TV station, but it's a long story, but it's a good one. I'll tell you the short version. She was walking by, and one of
this is here in LA.
It was in San Diego.
Okay.
She was working in the news department, which is on the other side of the building. I was in sports, and one of my interns said, "Hey, John, do you want to put San Diego State women's basketball highlights in the show tonight?" And I said, "Patrick, as a general rule, we don't want to put anything on TV that I can do better than the participants." Ooh. So the first thing Lisa ever said to me, she happened to be walking by a time, she goes, "So you're kind of a pig, are you?"
Oh, wow. That's an interesting opener.
Yeah. And then we started talking, and then that was the beginning.
So when you asked her out, did she say it with the smile or with the sneer?
No, she was not smiling.
Yeah.
So
So
again,
did you reform your ways? Clearly not.
No. So this is a very long story, but
he doubled down.
I did, because so this is another true part of this story. So I said, "What's your name?" And she said, "Lisa." I said, "Lisa, I don't mean to offend you." And I go, "You go to San Diego State, I guess?" She goes, "Yep." And she goes, "And the women's team's really good." And I said, "I don't know, and you're tall, but if you and I were playing one-on-one in basketball, and I'm a 6-foot white guy, I could give you 16 points on the ball, and I would win. No one wants to see that on TV." She goes, "You absolutely would not win." And I go, "When are we playing?" She goes, "Whenever you want."
Really?
Yeah.
And did you?
Oh, yeah.
And?
I've never told you this story.
No, I don't know this story at all.
So I waited a couple of weeks. I still have the card that she gave me with her phone number. And I said, so this was before texting.
Sure.
Even.
Yeah.
So I called her. I said, "So you want to play?" She goes, "Whenever you want." And I go, "How's Thursday at 10? She goes, "Done." And there was a basketball court where she lived in her apartment complex.
And were you into her already?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And
prior to her calling you a pig?
No,
Yeah.
she's still, at this point, she does not like me.
Okay.
And I'm trying to amend that.
Yep.
So I go to play, and I go pick her up, and we walk over to the basketball court, and I hand her the ball. I go, "You need to warm up?" She goes, "Nope."
Ooh. And you're spotting her the points.
16 points. We're going to 20. And so in my own mind, I'm like, okay, the way I get out of this is I let her score 2 quick baskets. I fall on the sword and apologize. So that was my plan. You know how when you see somebody that has never done something before, and so I hand her the ball, and she's hitting it like a bongo drum, and she's never dribbled, she's never shot. I can tell she doesn't know what a basketball is. Mm-hmm. and I'm like, oh my God, she's been faking me out.
Oh yeah, totally deep.
And but she doesn't want to. She's not coming clean, and so she takes it, and I go, "We'll be here for 2 hours if I wait for her to score 10 baskets." So I block her shot, and it goes all the way to the other side court. I go, "You have to go get that." she goes and picks it up. Then she goes and picks it up, and then I steal the ball from her and score 10 straight baskets. I go, "Come on, we'll take you to lunch." And she had steam coming out of her
Why
ears.
did she ever agree to go out with you?
This is the worst first date in history.
Sounds like she had some interest.
No, our actual first date was worse. So and wait till I tell you about that. So we go to lunch, and then we hit it off. And I said, "Let's actually go out on a real date." So I go, "You want to go to the movie? Somebody told me about this good movie." She goes, "Sure." So we go to dinner. Everything's calmed down. We kind of like each other at this point. And we go to the movie. You know what movie it was? The Crying Game.
Oh my God.
The most unromantic movie to take anyone
decidedly
to ever.
unromantic.
If you guys don't know about this, The Crying Game is a movie where an actress, the lead actress in it, is attractive, and at the end you find out that it's a man.
Woman.
Right.
Yeah. And so at the end of it, we both walked down and went, "Oh God, this is going nowhere. Will be a good story for both of us." And then we just hit it off after that.
I guess this is the lid for every pot theory, right?
Yeah. Right.
Because if you
If Susan did that, she would not speak to you anymore.
So here's the thing: Susan would have done this a little bit differently. Like if the setup was roughly the same, where I'm not putting the highlights in because I think it sucks.
Yeah.
And she said Susan, who is a good athlete, she would have gone and done basketball camp for weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think
getting
Susan
ready for that, and then would have torched me.
I think Susan would have gave you 8 points.
It
would have been opposite.
She probably could have beat me regardless.
So Susan's like me. Like one time Mason said, "Hey, Ireland, let's do a swim race." And I said, "Okay." So and Mason goes, "I'll race you. It was part of swim with Mike
by the way,
at
there's
USC."
a big caveat to the story, but go ahead.
And so, well, no, I think I'm going to tell it.
Yeah, you're going to.
So,
but then I'm going to tell the truth. Go ahead, tell your story.
So the day after Mason challenges me to swim, I call Francisco Pinto, the Lakers Spanish announcer, and his wife is a competitive swimmer.
Okay.
And I said, "Hey, Rachel, I got to be in this match race. Can you train me?" And she goes, "Absolutely." She goes, "Can you give me 2 days a week for the next month?" I said, "Yes." She trained me 2 days a week for the next month, and I smoked Mason. It was down and back in a pool. I was so far ahead of him that I hit the wall, flipped, turned, came back, and he was still coming.
Here's the thing. I hadn't swam in years. I thought it was just a gag.
He's training for the Olympics.
He's training twice a week.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll hop in the pool.
John's with Michael Phelps. And,
swim with Mace.
And she's got me like extending my arms, and she goes, "No, your flip turn's too slow."
This is why I think you need two different sorts of people in these relationships.
Yes.
You need somebody like you and Susan. Too similar,
yeah,
right. Like I'm going to train. I'm going to get ready for this.
Competitive
I'm going
of
to
it.
kick your ass.
Yeah.
And I'm more of the.
I kind of just. I don't give a bleep.
I just.
But
wanted
the best
to
part
hang
was
out with you.
Mason. The best part was Mason wore a Rodney Dangerfield back to school
like the
tank top.
Yeah,
he looked like Dangerfield from back to school.
I thought it was going to give me speed because then I thought if you wear the right suit, you get speed because there's less resistance.
Thankfully, it wasn't those ones now you see the Olympics, like those neoprene ones that are like skin tight.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that would have been anything anybody
needed.
It wasn't
skin tight, but it was.
Were they like the shorts, or was it more like the bikini cut situation?
It was like the brief cuts.
Okay,
Yeah.
so not like Borat.
Okay,
No,
so
not like Borat.
Trav, before we go, Jorge has found the speed dating scene from Hitch. Emily, use this as inspiration.
Do not.
You know what? This is really kind of distracting, and I haven't gotten laid in a year.
That's how you go out, Em.
Don't
Say,
do that.
This is kind of distracting.
Don't do it.
I haven't gotten any in a year.
Don't do it.
John
Don't
has
do
given
it.
3 or 4 great suggestions so far. I mean, I
by
think.
the way, everybody, if you're listening, try all of this stuff. It's going to work like a charm. Just do the Ireland thing, the Ireland routine. Start by being
you know what
a
looked
pig.
good on you?
Yeah,
Me.
There you go.
All 4 of us have been in relationships for a while.
Yeah.
Like if you are all of a sudden back in the pool, do you do it? Do you do speed dating? Do you do an app? Do you get a recommendation from a friend? Like what's the next move?
I have told
if you're back
Lisa
in the
that if
pool?
she ever leaves me, I'm going full bimbo.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be one of those guys at the Laker games who goes with their niece
Sure.
and sits in the front row.
What about you?
I have nothing to worry about.
I'd be on Grindr in 10 minutes.
No, he would just activate his account. It's deactivated.
There was no Grindr 17 years ago. Yeah.
I think I'd just waste away. Susan's been out of town for a few days, so I've been.
He didn't
by
know what to
myself.
do.
I'm lost.
Oh, you'd marry somebody like some girl on the beer cart at your favorite golf course.
I would be trying very hard just to couple up, just because I need somebody to give me guidance on a day.
By the way, if you ever want to talk to a girl about the worst pickup lines of all time,
ask you.
No, ask a beer cart girl.
Oh, there, yeah.
Oh, yeah, she probably gets it. All day, 7 days a week.
They've heard them all.
Every day, every hole.
Beer cart, bartender.
Yeah.
That.
You wouldn't wind up alone for long.
I'm not.
You might want to be alone.
You've
for
been,
a while.
I've discovered I'm not good at
You've
that.
been coupled since you were like a junior in high school, haven't you?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
I pay attention. Slee, did you hear that?
I did hear that.
I pay attention to
That's
him
you
more
had the
than
right-
you pay
you had
attention.
the right
I
year.
pay so much attention that I'm going to put us on the wait list for Whymo because I'm down to do it too.
Are you in?
I'm down to do
Okay,
it.
I'm
Can you
totally
download the
down.
app? Are you trying to download the app?
You got to join a wait list. I haven't tried it on my phone, but just on the website.
I'm
you gotta
totally
join.
doing it.
When
I would
you've
do it.
hit 100 Waymo rides rides and everything's gone cool, let me know.
Got it.
And then, I'll
yeah,
jump in
you
after
deal
that.
with humans who make errors. I'll deal with computers.
Everybody
much
makes
more errors.
Yeah, many more errors.
I'm going to let him debug it a few times before I get in.
all right.
I'll let you be the what's it called, the beta test.
I
believe that's what the
beta
first,
test. I think that's probably the state they're in.
Super Cross Talk is brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out, that's what a hamburger is.